Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here with another episode of Talking Toys with the Boys. I am joined by 212 Hunter,
Hello.
SkywalkerHendrix.
Hey.
So we are supposed to be joined by Michael Havens. I have not been able to catch him for a little bit. He has an open invite and a link. I'm hoping that he is going to pop in and do our guest reveal and talk about ICCC because Hendrix just pointed out we're about a month and a half away from the con. And actually, here he is.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
I'm sorry. I've been running around. How you doing?
You are A-okay. I was getting nervous, but I was like, we run for a few hours. We'll see him when we see him.
Nah, no worries.
So I
Just always running around now. I was working on the hotel for next year. So that's what I was on the phone with. But I'm all done with that now, and I'm all yours. So how you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Good.
So the convention runner never sleeps.
Nope, never. That's right. Sleep's boring anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
So this actually, like, you booked this stuff out. Nothing's last second. It's usually there's long.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm already working on next year.
Oh, man.
Yeah, all the guest stars are already booked, even though they're not all released. Everything's done. Like right now, I'm working on just the badges. The badges just went into production. They'll probably get here in about half a month to a month, and then we'll start shipping them out. Because we're weird like that. We don't do QR codes. We do the hard plastics. So if we send them out too early, people will totally rip them off, man. We've seen some that are like color copies and stuff. And
it's all good.
Yeah.
No, I hope I got some good questions for you tonight. We're going to ask you again, but everyone always asks you on their streams, where did you get the idea? But I go to a lot of Comic Cons, and no one ever wants to talk to me that works at a Comic Con. So you're getting the curveballs.
That's exactly why we're doing it, man. Because no one wants to talk to us real nerds at freaking Comic Con, and it's annoying. Right. You don't even know who runs it, man. It's a bunch of board of directors in their ivory tower with their Lear jets and their wooden coffee tables. Look, I even checked into you guys, and I brought on, I don't do modern much, but I brought on my latest modern acquisition.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's very, very recent. So I even brought something to share. But no, man, it's like, what was it? Hair Club for Men, right? I'm not just the owner of Hair Club for Men. I'm also a client, So that's it, man. I'm a legit nerd.
Heck yeah.
So yes, you should be able to talk to the people at conventions because you guys are the ones that should be telling us how to run conventions because you're the ones going to it, not us.
Well, the big thing is, and I mean, I go to a lot. I'm an autograph collector.
Nice.
So I end up at your big franchise Galaxy Cons and Fan Expos, and they're okay. And my friends here, Hunter and Hendrix, don't go to near as many as I do or have gone to, but we all did ICCC last year.
Awesome. You dig it?
And
it's different, right?
I've had to remind them at everyone we go to, it's not going to be like ICCC. It is. It is a bring your wallet. It is not a fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's fun until your wallet's empty kind of fun.
Oh yeah, it's work. And you know what, man? It's always funny because people are always like, why is blah blah blah's autograph $30 cheaper than it is here? And I'm like, because we don't add anything on. They tell us the price and we just give you the price. Because why is that? But it's terrible business. We make all the worst business decisions in the world, which makes the guest experience that much better. But I'm hoping that eventually that magic will just turn it into a Disney World and everybody will be happy and it'll work out someday.
Right. Well, we've had some great times. I actually, and again, just because we never ever get to talk to the people that run these shows, I just wanted to show you. I just prepared a couple little things I just wanted to share because last year we had such a good time. You've been on some of our friends' channels, 1313 Podcast, Wilbon with Monday Night Figure Bowl, and there's Nate and Justin with Out of the Basement. I think they were going to talk to you at some point.
I think they have, or maybe not. I don't know.
Last year we did our first ever large scale, big group. And that was our first time. I mean, 1313 lives local to me, and so we hang out a lot. But this was our first. These are people from all over the U.S. that came to ICCC, and just we all had a good time.
You guys got to make swag now. Did you make swag?
Well, I'll spoil it a little bit because I mean, like, we all have channel stickers and stuff, but I was actually working on some like group gifts, you know, because we're gonna have the whole group.
Awesome.
And I was doing. Sorry, I'm bootlegging it, but the ICCC logo of all of our channel logos with like a 24, you know, just to hand out to like the 20 of us, you know.
Dude,
like,
that's another thing about this convention. People always write me all the time, and they're like, "Is it okay if we use the logo?" Or blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't care, man. Why is it always got to be like that? Where you got to submit your stuff to a convention? Don't put porn on it. Don't put drugs on it, and you're fine. You can use my logo.
All right, you hear him, Hendrix?
Yeah,
those are the only rules. And if you do, don't tell me about it.
No, but it was just nothing for sale. Just a little group.
Yeah, but no, dude. Even if it was for sale, I'm not that guy. And another terrible business decision. But it also makes it better for the fans. I want you guys to see this logo, and I wanted to remind you of times that you've had with your friends and your new family that you've created from I don't know, whatever it is you love. Whether it's podcasting, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Captain America, there, whatever it is. Right. I just and the only way to do that is to make this logo is not. Even though it's trademarked and stuff, it's not mine, it's ours. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, make your stuff, go nuts. I don't care.
Right. No, and I mean it's a good memory. I'll reach up right above on the wall. But I mean, I even got one of those group photos, you know, just framed, and
awesome.
I do my reviewing right here.
Hey, there's me. Yeah. Super cool, dude.
No, it's just what we do.
But that's what I mean, man. No worries, no stresses. Yeah, of course. Bootleg the logo. Try to keep it the same shape or my marketing guy yells at me. But I always just say, I didn't know about it, and then he leaves me alone.
So I'll get next for one. We'll make sure you get one of them cups.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, definitely. If you do swag like that and you bring it into the con store, they'll hook you up with a piece of our swag in return. And they hold it for me. So yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, man, I've got a whole wall going up to my collection room, and the entire side of the wall is just all swag that people have made that I've gotten. Because I'm actually a swag collector too, man. I mean, no joke. I'm a legit nerd. Like it's
awesome.
Yeah, man. I did the whole hallway wall going up the stairs to my bonus room where my Star Wars collection is. I covered it in a giant cork board. So everything I get, I just tack it up. But it's cool, man. It's filling out. It's really neat.
Right. Well, it's going to be a pint glass, so please don't put a nail in it.
Oh, no. Well, those I keep. I've got the Kevin Lyle, the guy who does my stage show. He makes some like really funny Star Wars pint glasses. But he did the Samuel Adams with Mace Windu on it, where it's like Samuel Jackson's or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he did the Alec Guinness or the Guinness with Obi-Wan on it.
All right.
All right.
If you've ever seen that, that's him. So yeah, no, man, I'll put it in the pint glass collection too.
Heck yeah. So real quick, before we get super into it, I just want to yap at some of our commenters here. So we have Fig Fury with an emoji that didn't come through, but I appreciate you, Fig.
I got it. It's a salute.
Oh, it's a salute. Okay.
It came through for me.
Okay. Okay. So I'm on PC, so it's not. But that's good to know that came through. We got Commander Bly with the power of first, always. We have Ood. For elaboration, Ood is my cat, and I don't know who's running this page.
That's funny.
So he shows up to all my live streams, and I'm here for it. He's way nicer than the real cat. Another power of first. The Max Rebo, the power of many Bothans died. And y'all do need to smash that like button. So
smash the like button.
Speaking of 1313, we got Tommy with an A.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? They were very, very nice. Great group of guys.
Oh yeah. 13 boys are great. We love them.
You know,
we have Commander Cook. If he paints Gregor at the same time, can I watch the stream? Commander Cook is a figure customizing friend of ours that we tell him he's 7 years a slave. He has a list.
Nice. I do customs as well, man. I'm into customs as well. So yeah, I don't make them personally. I do not have the talent, but I am into them.
That's exactly where I'm at too.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Well, that's why I have some extremely limited skills, and I'm just looking at Clone Commando Gregor with all that desert tactical camo, and I'm just like, hey, Cook, you're up. So yeah, Cook, you can watch, but you're only getting half portions. So we got Psychotic Sharks. Been a minute. Afternoon. Got Wilbon here with the A.
What's up, Wilbon?
We have my mom who made it. Hi, Mom.
Hey, my mom. My mom watches my live videos on Facebook, and she might even watch this, which is awesome, man. Big shout out to the moms. Without them, we wouldn't be cool nerds.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So no one else has popped up yet. So, but, all right. So ICC questions, and I'm totally drawing blanks, but,
you can ask me anything, man. It doesn't matter. I'll shoot you straight. You've always wanted to have a convention promoter, a convention maker here. Here I am. What do you got? Go for it. Anything you want.
All right. Well, just you as a guy. So I know that ICCC started. It was kind of like the Kenner Facebook group, Kenner Collectors.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of new Kenner stuff coming out these days.
Vintage Star Wars stuff. Yep.
Right. You showed that you picked up that TVC pack. Are you? Do you collect much?
I collect things I like. I'm a Star Wars lover. I love Star Wars, man. I mean, over here I have like the heavy Mando, the big hot toys, like stuff like that. I collect stuff I really like, or that I dig the character, or I want that. Grand Admiral Thrawn's one of my favorites. I really enjoyed the entrance in Ahsoka. I thought it was cool. I know a lot of people picked on the zombie kind of stormtroopers, but I thought it was cool.
Those are cool. Yep.
Yeah, so I wanted to get that set, and I got that set. That's the what is it? Captain Enoch and Thrawn's Night Troopers. And I cracked them open, man, and they're really nice. I'll tell you what. The thing is being a vintage Star Wars collector, what the difficulty for me is here. Let me see if I can find Captain Enoch. And then I bought a Power of the Force Thrawn so I could throw it with him.
Okay.
But because I'm going to set them up on the shelf. But the one problem I have with the modern figures, the only problem I really have, it's wonderful that they're super articulated, but you know what I mean? Vintage, here's vintage.
Yeah.
Stands.
Right.
Super articulated. You got to twist those ankles and twist the hips and bend the arm and do this and do that just to get them to stand up, man. And even though it's cool for like, if it's a Hot Toys and it's like 15 inches tall, sure. But maybe for my tiny hands, if I was a little kid and I was trying to set these guys up without some sticky tack, I'd be like, oh, why won't you stand at attention? You know what I mean? But the detailing is incredible. They're really, really cool figures. And I love the armor. So I'm happy I got them, especially since they're like not out in stores and stuff. But I ordered them a long time ago. But look, I'm still trying to stand them up and I can't get them to stand. And it's not like you can't stand. It's just, you know how it is. Cause it's like, they got, like, why do you ever need your Stormtrooper's foot to go like that? You know what I mean?
When you get them on the stand that they don't include, but when you get them on the third-party stand, you got to pick up. He can do some awesome stuff.
Well, see, that's valid on the third-party stand. No, they're great for like I've seen like how people do the pictures and whatnot, where they're like in action scenes and stuff, and for that they are phenomenal. But I'm a collector, so all I want to do is eventually stand this guy up on a shelf.
Fair. So. No,
my problem
also, I'm not their target demographic, so who cares anyway?
I'm going to say before Hunter says something that we may all regret, there may be jokes in our social circle about the 3-inch scale being Happy Meal toys. We don't hate them. They have a following that we like to tease. Now, Hunter,
they're 3 1/4. Well, the playability is there,
right?
It's tough to play with a bunch of 12-inch, 14-inch. What do you do with a hot toy? You can't exactly play with a hot toy.
Right.
You're too scared to touch it half the time.
Yeah, sure enough, dude. Because you'd be like, I know that leather is weak by now because it's been sitting in that position for 3 years.
No, I was just gonna say my only problem with figures that small is I got pretty big hands, so doing them little delicate figures like that are like the size of my finger. Like it's hard to get guns in their little hands and
Yep.
get them to articulate the way I want them. So I'm pretty much more into like the Black Series, the 6-inch, and I do have quite a few of like the 12-inch scale, like Hot Toys and Sideshow figures. Those are
Black
just
Series is cool, man. Black Series is a well done line. It takes a lot of space, though.
I was gonna say that's my big thing, and you might, these might be some of my last year pickups.
Oh, nice. There you go. How nice were they? They were super nice people. The Rebels.
Whole Rebels crew is amazing.
Yeah.
See, there you go. There's something that no one that's a regular convention promoter would have thought of.
Right.
But I knew they were going to show up in Ahsoka, so I grabbed them all up. And then, like every other con on the planet, as soon as they showed up in Ahsoka, now they're at like every other con.
Yeah.
But they haven't been together in like 15 years.
Right.
It's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie too. Like, I almost wish that the Rebels crew would have been this year because of the TVC Ghost coming out with the special card back figures. Because I'm going for those getting signed on that mural card back. And man, if only the Ghost could have came 1 year sooner,
Oh, I know. Well, I got the Hasbro one, and it still hasn't even shipped. The HasLab Ghost.
Yep,
but
I got one on the way
shipped
too.
Yet. But that would be cool to get signed by them. I'm sure it's got enough real estate for all the signatures.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then you could start like deep diving on it and getting like, I don't know, alien guy from season 3, episode 2, and
Yeah.
Right.
The wild thing with that show is all of their one-off characters were usually cameos.
Yeah.
It's wild. They'll pick a popular voice actor or like Senator Gall Travis from season 1, the Imperial senator that was leaking stuff to the rebels, but he was actually a traitor. Like that was Brent Spiner. Like that's Data.
Yeah.
And
no, they really fill it up. I noticed, what was it? I had, it was a guest star I had, and I was like, you were in Rebels? And it was Cass Anvar, and he was the pilot for The Expanse. If you ever watched The Expanse, he was the pilot guy in The Expanse, and I had him for that at the time. It was in 2018 when The Expanse was hot, and he happened to be in like episodes of Rebels. I can't remember the character name, but it was such a small part, and you're like, dude, you're a pretty decently famous actor to be, random guy number 6. But they did do that a lot, so it'd probably make a really awesome collection if you got everybody's autograph from Rebels.
Right.
No, and I'll say, I mean, that's what you got me with last year, because until I had a while to reflect on Kenobi, Rebels was my favorite show. And then
nice.
The number 2. But
man, I love Rebels. I think it's the best cartoon ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So here we have 1313 Jackson making bird noises. So with that Rebels reunion and talking about the convention, but Freddie Prinze Jr. had to cancel last year. Does he get put on like a list of like people that you're gonna try and
never get to come back ever?
Never gets to come back ever.
Yeah.
So
I don't like when people breach contracts on me, man.
Fair.
And it was supposedly for some what was it? Some indie movie, and it never happened. And dude, Freddie Prinze Jr. does cancel constantly. The thing is I am close with my attendees. And I don't like letting them down. I always want to tell them the truth. I want to tell them who's coming. And that's why we write contracts and we hold people to things. And if you just don't want to come because you flake all the time. And the problem is before I got him, I did talk to him. And I said, if I can get you, I will get the rest of the Rebels.
Right.
So that was a stipulation. And then I had five other people that not relied on him, but he's Kanan Jarrus, no matter what way you cut it. Whether he doesn't like Star Wars or doesn't like Rebels or whatever he wants to whine or complain about today, it still doesn't change the fact he's Kanan Jarrus. I'd love to hang out with him. I'd love to meet him. I'd love to pick his brain. But I do not like people that sign contracts and don't care. Because what do you just not care about all those fans that wanted to come? You certainly don't care about your co-stars. Because come on. You know what I mean? And I really didn't like that. And honestly, man, I wouldn't even have said that. Usually, if it's something reasonable, for example, Freddie Tomlin, I just released yesterday. He's the guy who made a bunch of the vintage Kenner Star Wars line. He also did Batman. He worked all the way up through Hasbro, so he's even worked on modern stuff too. But he couldn't come last year and was scheduled and was released. Now, he didn't breach his contract. He was moving stuff and broke his foot. That's okay. You can come back, you go to the top of the list, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But if the reason isn't the real reason and the reason isn't, you know what I mean? Just because you didn't feel like coming, that's not good enough. And I don't want to deal with you ever again. Because I'm not going to go ahead and tell you guys. Only way Freddie Prinze Jr. ever comes is if I don't announce him and he's just there. Because I would never again put my reputation on the line to say he was coming.
Right. It's not what I thought I was going to get from that. No.
But, I know. Everybody asks me that, dude, and nobody expects it. And I'm like, listen, dude, I don't care. This is the difference between corporate conventions and private conventions. We are a mom and pop. I don't care if he doesn't like me anymore because of he sees this podcast for some reason. It doesn't matter to me. My baseline is everyone should be honest and everyone should keep their word. If you're not going to do that, then I have no use for you. I don't care if you're George Lucas. But George Lucas has never done that to me. I'm sure he's freaking awesome, and I totally love George Lucas. But you know what I mean? Like, it's happened with probably 3 or 4 guest stars over the years. And there's plenty of guest stars out there. Sure. They should realize that they should be thankful that we want to meet them. Not the other way around. That's what I have a problem with. I also don't allow guest stars if you've ever been to a convention, you go to a lot of cons, right?
Yeah.
And you know how sometimes there's a person where they're in a cave made of pipe and drape where only one person's allowed in, and then God forbid a 5-year-old takes a picture walking by, they'll have like a security guy destroy the camera. Like, those people aren't allowed to come. I don't care if you're the king of the world. Who wants you there? You're bringing that bad vibe, that bad energy, man. And there's no need for that. We want everybody to be happy. And if you're that afraid of some kid that can't afford to get your $500 autograph clicking a pic while he walks by, then in my book, you're not a nice person, and I don't want you around. But that's my personal opinions, and nobody else will tell you that. They'll be like, wow, man, you'll sell me 10,000 tickets. Okay, you could have a cave, and I won't. But that's also why you don't see T-Mobile booths at the convention, man. I'm a legit nerd. This is not my real job. That's why it's different.
Well, and you can see sometimes some of these like actors that are brand new to going to conventions, and they're just like so happy to be there and like talking extra long with fans and stuff like that. And it's like you sometimes maybe after being in it so long, they just take it for granted.
Right. But you shouldn't. Imagine any one of us. You wouldn't love to be able to write your name on a piece of paper for $400?
Exactly. Yeah.
You can take as many pictures as you want of me if I'm writing my name down for $400.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if I got to be in Star Wars and then get asked to be at a convention and meet people that are fans of me being in Star Wars, like you almost wouldn't even have to pay me. Like, I would just go.
Right.
We did our little trio here. We did Awesome Con in Washington D.C. this spring. Yeah. And like they were saying, you kind of meet the early con goers, and I met Alekwa Cox, who was Echo in the Marvel's Echo show.
Nice.
And that was a week after the show finished.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like, it had to have been her first con after, and I was able to find her Funko early for an insane markup on eBay, but I was like, I'm getting that autograph.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I hear you.
She was just over the top, super nice. And I met people that do the rounds a lot, and they're usually nice, but still she was different. I also saw, I think it was on 1313, you had said, you did your Daredevil reunion last year, and we're not doing Marvel this year just because no one came up and said that was awesome. But I just want you to know that I think that Daredevil was awesome.
Oh, nice. There you go. There's one.
I think it was a good call. So
if you would have just bought about $47,000 more worth of that autograph, it would have been worth it.
All right. I'll keep that in mind next time. So I appreciate it. I'd love to branch out like that. It's not the Daredevil people at all. Right.
Certainly not. They were wonderful. It's not the fans at all or anything like that. It's me. This convention was grown out of the Imperial Commissary, which is a Facebook group for Star Wars people. We love Star Wars. I mean, I'm telling people Charlie Cox is coming, and I get less likes on that post than if I'm telling people that, I don't know, like anybody else is coming that isn't a star of that level. I don't want to be that guy because everybody's a sweetheart, man, and I think their personality matters more than what they've done in movies. But
for sure. Yep.
No, Charlie's awesome.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, man. It's like I tell people, and it's like, I don't know. You look at another con, and Charlie Cox will have a line out the door going backwards, sideways. He sold out 6 months before, and I'm sitting there like, I don't know. I guess I didn't tell the right people, or I don't know. But man, the Rebels had a bigger line the whole time than Daredevil, and the level of those stars are different.
Right. I've passed on Charlie a few times before because of those insane lines.
Yeah.
So for you not reaching the right ears, I'm grateful because I was able to do something other than stand in his line.
For the people that went up there, man, it worked out. You got to even talk to them. You know, it wasn't just a quick drag across the paper.
Yeah.
It was a good experience in that way. And hey, man, if that's a memory and that's a great memory, shoot, man, I'm glad it was provided and it was worth every penny.
Right.
But yeah, once we get a good Marvel following, so once I'm on a couple Marvel podcasts. But
they just got to sprinkle one in here and there.
There you go, something.
Full-blown reunion, but no, it and you know, I do product reviews, hence Hybrid Toy Reviews, but you know, and it's always been Star Wars figures, and I like other stuff. I get some Marvel Legends. I like Doctor Who. I pick up the odd Doctor Who figure, and
I like Doctor Who as well. Is that why your dog is named Ood?
It is.
That's cool, man.
And if I put up a Doctor Who figure review, it's not getting any views.
Yeah.
There's just that target audience, and it's just, you know, everyone that watches me watches my Star Wars stuff, and the other stuff just doesn't hit. So I feel you there. You just got to.
Yeah, honestly, brother, if it worked out like that, where it was nobody watched, I'd be fine with it. The thing is, man, is every guest star comes with massive costs. They come with flights for agents, first class flights, first class hotel. You know what I mean? When you're staring down a $25,000 hotel bill for just 2 guest stars, it's like, it would be nice if they made more than that in autographs.
Sure. So, here we got, my mom was just asking, is there any good way to request guests going forwards? And
you can always ask me. People always ask. Doctor Who would be cool. I do have the line on a couple Doctor Who actors and their companions, but I just haven't. It hasn't been the right fit just yet. The reason why we're pulling in a little and doing really, really Star Wars heavy is because this convention needs to grow to the 30,000, 40,000 people, and then I can get whomever. I have all the connections. I have all the numbers. I have all the people to talk to. It's just, I have to get the general public. Right now, the Star Wars nerds, we all know, man, we are down. We are psyched. Right. But the regular nerds, just, it's not there yet. And that's where I made a little bit of a tiny misstep there. I mean, it's no big deal, but it was a misstep there for me personally last year because we weren't ready to move into the Marvel thing because we don't have enough regulars. I need some dude that's like, well, I got nothing to do this weekend. What's ICCC? And once we have those people coming, then we can get whomever. But right now, I'm getting all the ones that I know darn well. As soon as I announce it, people are going to be like, "Oh, that's awesome, man! Let's go!" Because I know who I'm talking to. You know.
I see. I think she's a hint, winking you here on David Tennant.
I definitely know how to get him, and that might be definitely something for the future.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, on guests,
and the only reason why it definitely wasn't this year is because I couldn't get the girl. What's her name?
Rose.
That played. No, not Rose. The Impossible Girl.
Clara, Jenna Coleman.
Yeah, no, not Jenna Coleman. What's her name from Jumanji? The redhead.
Oh, Karen Gillan.
Yes, she's doing something else that weekend, but she was on my radar as well. And I thought those two would be cool to be together because it's like a crossover thing.
Yeah,
also, Matt Smith was definitely not available because he's taping some. What the heck is it?
Oh, he's
I don't know. It's something. He looks cool in it though.
He's doing Game of Thrones.
Is that what it is? Game of Thrones. Yeah.
He's always got something going on.
Yeah.
I've met all of them at this point, but
nice.
They're all awesome. Karen Gillan is amazing. You'll love talking to her. So.
Well, she's super cool, man. And I like Jumanji a lot. I actually told my mom, I was like, you got to watch Jumanji. Because I didn't like the first one that much, but I thought it was such a fun movie. I like fun movies, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so, they don't always have to be groundbreaking. Sometimes I like to eat popcorn and laugh.
Yeah,
right.
Sit down, and not everything's a big franchise, and that's all right.
Yeah, sure enough.
Have you seen Twisters yet?
I haven't seen Twisters, man. I literally just rewatched Twister 2 days ago in preparation to watch Twister. But I'm just so busy, man. I mean, as soon as I get the 2 hours to dedicate, I will, though. Good?
That's where I'm at. I haven't seen it yet, but I did just do a rewatch on the old one. I'm ready.
I
watched the old one, and it was great, man. It still holds up.
Have you seen Deadpool yet?
I have not seen the new Deadpool yet. I tend to not be a movie theater goer very much anymore.
Yeah.
Just because of the time it takes.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're waiting through a half an hour of previews. You got to drive out there, drive back. I catch a movie when I'm on like vacation. You know, at a movie theater.
Yeah.
But I'm like a workaholic, guys. I mean, I got like.
Right.
I have 2 real jobs that have nothing to do with Star Wars. I'm just a crazy person.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't had any time at all lately for any movies. I haven't caught Deadpool yet. For the longest time, I was a midnight release guy for every movie. Like from like Iron Man 3 on, I didn't miss any of them. And then the Marvels and Deadpool, I have just fumbled hard. But
I hear it's really good, man. I hear it's really good, but I'll get around to it eventually for sure.
So back into guests a little bit, and I said I'd ask stuff, you know, that just of a convention runner.
Yeah.
What's the process of booking someone? Like, is it because I mean, if I Google a Juan McGregor's phone number, I'm not going to find it. So
yeah. Well, my real job, I own a trucking company, Interstar Logistics. It's a trucking company, containerized freight. We move freight out of New York and New Jersey. That's a position where, in order to get that freight, you're calling steamship lines, companies, cold calling, ice cold, until you set up accounts that end up being built and last forever. So all it is relationships and networking, which I already did for my job, and I was successful at my job. And that put me into a place where I had a little bit of free time. And since I'm not a big fan of free time, I decided to throw a convention. But it's really with that background that I have, or that anyone could have. I mean, I sold Cutco knives. I don't know if you know what Cutco knives are, but I sold Cutco knives in college. They're like ridiculously expensive. They're super awesome. I got a set in my kitchen, but they're ridiculously expensive, and you go door to door and you sell them. Now, there is nothing like knocking on a door ice cold and trying to sell someone a $2,000 set of steak knives in 1995.
Right.
It's scary. You get yelled at, you get told no all the time. Right. So that's what happened. I just figured, why not? What I did is I just cold called every celebrity I could think of that does conventions that first year. I just cold called them off of whatever phone number I could find on the website. Like, I mean, I was trying to call like Hulk Hogan at his surfboard shop. I was like, whatever I could think of some way I could just get on a phone with anybody famous and they'd listen to me, I was doing. Right. So I was going through everybody I could think of as guest stars, going down. If you go down to the bottom of every single web page on the internet, there's a phone number somewhere, or it's in the fact, or it's in the about, or something. And you get eventually that phone number, you call them up and you say, hey, listen, I see that you run, I don't know, the website for like these cookies that blah, blah, blah endorses. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, do you know how to get a hold of blah, blah, blah? And I just kept doing that until I ended up on William Shatner's website. And down the bottom, there's a phone number. And I called it up and I said, hi, my name is Mike Havens. I'm from ICCC down in Nashville, Tennessee. I was wondering who books William Shatner. How do I get William Shatner to come to my convention? And they're like, well, actually, you could call this guy. And it ended up being his agent. And that's how I got William Shatner. And then I went into the sales pitch of, hey, everybody, I'm Mike Havens. I'm a crazy person that's throwing my very first sci-fi convention in Nashville, Tennessee. Come on down to meet William Shatner in a barn in Franklin, Tennessee. And that was my pitch. and it was real. And like, you had the people that believed me that were from the groups that came, and then you had a lot of people that didn't believe me at all and were waiting for it to blow up in my face because it's something bonkers. I mean, when I told people I was going to have a zoo, they thought I was nuts. When I told them I was going to have a demolition derby, they thought I was nuts. Like, these kind of things make people's brains go, but wait, is that possible? And then when it's there, man, it makes magic. So, yeah, dude, all it is, honestly, it is cold calling, getting told no 200,000 times until you run into a William Shatner or whomever that says yes. And then what happens, you get a big guy, right? The big guys, they got this team of, like, what is it? You know how a shark has those things on the side of it, the remoras or whatever?
Oh,
I think that's an eel. I don't know what they're called. But so
like
whenever you... it's like the thing that swims the pilot fish, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is you get a shark like Shatner, you get a big one, and then these pilot fish come and they're going, I know for a fact just William Shatner being there, as long as you tell people about it, is going to bring, 300, 400, 500 Star Trek fans. So if I am XYZ from Star Trek, I'll come for free, or I'll come for a limited guarantee or a lower guarantee or a whatever. So my phone starts ringing with, like, even from William Shatner's agent, all these agents represent a bunch of people. So he was like, hey, would you like Renee Aberjonis or Marina Sirtis or, these are names, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, duh, and that's how the convention lineup for 2018 was literally built off of whomever I could convince that I was throwing something real and to come to Nashville, Tennessee. And it was just off straight cold calling the internet with no skill whatsoever at all.
Right.
Just taking no 100 times, dude, and getting to a yes.
Is it still cold calling now, or are you kind of
No, dude, I have like hundreds of guest stars a year that reach out to me and beg to come. I mean, not even to be that guy and not trying to inflate it at all or anything like that. But not every guest star is William Shatner. But, all right, before, remember you were like, oh, I don't remember the name of it, but you were like, blah, 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 from episode blah, blah, blah of Rebels was blah, blah, blah. Like, we're the ones that know that. Yep. And so if you are only blah, blah, blah in this thing, or, you know what I mean? I mean, not to pick on Mark Hamill at all. He's Mark Hamill. Okay.
Right.
But Mark Hamill is famous because he was Luke Skywalker. He's not famous because he played Blank Knocker in that show. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so with that, it's very, very, very finite, but everybody in the world knows who Mark Hamill is, because he was Luke Skywalker. Now, how about, I'm going to ask you guys right here, how about Forlom? Do you know who Forlom is? Yeah. You guys know who Forlom is. You guys know who Zuckus is. You guys know what a Mandalorian is. You'd be surprised how many people in this world you could be like, I like Boba Fett. And they'll be like, oh, is that the guy that's made after the Mandalorian? And you're just like, no, and it's stuff like that. So what happens is these guest stars, once the word gets out that not only do you run a nice show with nice people, not only do you make sure that they're taken care of and they have a nice little gift basket in their room, and if they want to come in late because they're a little tired, it's fine. We just notify people. You guys have been, it's way laid back compared to the corporate cons. And so these people, they enjoy it just as much. I mean, I never even got a picture with Anthony Daniels, not because I don't like C-3PO and not because he wasn't at our show, but I just forgot. Now, any other corporate convention, they have to take 35 pictures as soon as they land with everybody and their uncle that's a sponsor or a staff or a cousin or a whatever, dentist. Sure. So we don't do that. So the very first day, it's very funny to watch the guest stars that first come to ICCC, because the very first day they're hesitant. And then we throw them into this, guess what? It's only VIP and early bird toy buyer day. So you got guest stars that are super famous sitting there. You've gone early and you could get whatever autograph you want. And they're sitting there and they're getting nervous and they're going, oh my God, there's nobody coming to the show, blah, 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 blah. But they don't realize that first day there's supposed to be nobody. That's what we want. because we want the VIP experience to actually be a VIP experience.
Mhm.
And then what happens is then Friday comes or the next day comes and it gets really, really busy and they're like, holy moly. And the reason why is because the people that are all walking through this door, like I said, I don't have the reach into Marvel and stuff like that. I could get all the Marvel stars in the world. I don't have the reach to their community to tell them where they're going to be.
Right.
But I have the reach to the Star Wars. So we all know these people. We all want to meet them. So they are inundated more than they are anywhere else. Because not to pick on anyone at all, but if you are a Forlom, it's very hard for you to do well at Fan Expo Dallas.
Right.
Because there's 60 people there. Most of them are like more in front of the face actors than you. And not all of them give any care at all about Star Wars.
Sure.
But I'm filling a building with Star Wars fans. So people who do well everywhere else, they do so much better here. And then they're so happy. And the thing is you guys notice, because you go to different cons, guest stars go to multiple cons. So every time they're in that back room and they're going, man, I just did this convention called ICCC. Not only was everybody nice, not only did he not even bother me for a photo, but they picked us up. They were always on time. They were always courteous. And then the fans were awesome. And everybody came up to me with vintage carded Forloms to get signed. Like, that doesn't happen to them anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't happen at any other con like that. And that's what's so special about this one is the guest stars end up getting very comfortable. And that's why I think you're going to like this new venue a lot. It's definitely smaller than the last one. The last one was too big. I was driving literally like 10 minutes to bring change.
It was
insane.
It was huge, yeah.
Yeah, I went a little bit too big, but whatever. I got paid for my britches. It was fun.
It worked.
There's nothing wrong with being ambitious.
Plus, you need a spot to put a helicopter, right? It was super cool.
Right.
But they come and then they end up, and that's why I think you'll love this new venue, or the old venue, but the new venue. It's a 4-star hotel, but they end up getting so comfortable with the community that they end up hanging out. And then all of a sudden you're at the bar talking with General Veers all night about his role in Star Wars or Harry Potter or whatever. And that doesn't happen at cons because see, what I'm going for is I'm not going for a Comic-Con. I'm going for like a 3-day sleepover with movie stars.
Yep.
You know, like I just want it to be fun. That's why even the way the room sales are at night, I'm sure you guys got to experience some of the room sales, but even the room sales, any other convention would shut that down because that's vendor tables I could sell. But I want the room sales because it keeps it a party all night and it keeps everybody involved. My entire wish is everyone that comes to ICCCon to literally leave with a little bit more money than they came with and buy everything they want in the world. Go nuts. Sell in the room sales, sell in the lobby sales, trade with your friends, bring a tuna fish sandwich if you don't want to waste money on food. Go eat in the grass. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. And that's the same thing with the logo. I'm not going to stop. You want to put it on a glass, brother? That's awesome. You know what I mean? Why would I stop that? But people start to see that, and the guest star starts to see that. And that's what happens. Then you guys tell your community, you tell your friends, hey, I went to this thing. It's just different. I don't know why it's different. I don't know what's going on, but it's different. And then the guest stars tell the other guest stars in those back rooms at other Comic-Cons while they're, waiting on their coffee for an hour and a half instead of just having a Keurig in the room. Because what's the problem? Like, they're adults. They can press the button, but they like that because they're humans just like us. And everyone else treats them as if they're commodities. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're like 5 minutes late and somebody's like banging on their door being like, you had a 10 o'clock call. And I'm like, hey, when are you going to come down? I'll put up a sign on your table. You know what I mean? And all the attendees are cool with that because we try to help you avoid just sitting in line all day, which I don't understand why every other convention in the world does that, guys. I mean, like, they just put tape on the floor and they're like, enjoy your next 3 hours waiting for this autograph. We don't do that, do you?
We were in DC and I spent a good 9 hours in Hayden Christensen's line.
That was an awesome con. Yeah.
It was, I mean, and this is where it, like, my first, like, big con was ICCC. So
mine too.
I always say that it spoiled me because I go to these other one. I will not go back to DC because it was just not the greatest experience. It was fun meeting Hayden, but I'm just like, nope, not doing that again.
Right.
That's what I was going to say before is like ICC was like my second ever convention, and the only one before that was a small one in Erie, Pennsylvania called Comic-Con Erie. And so then going from that to ICC for a year and a half, I've gone to Detroit, to Cleveland, to Chicago, just trying to replicate the experience that I had in Nashville, and it was never the same. I mean, I went, the only thing that brought me to those conventions was the celebrities. Otherwise, you know, you stand in line, get your autographs, and it's like, okay, there's no booths to look at for anything Star Wars. There's like two, you know, and it's like, it's like, a total different experience. And we've always talked it up to people online that you got to go to the next one, because we've all just been itching to go back to that because it was so good, you know, for like the first time experience, even though it was the different venue. I mean, none of us cared because it was the first, you know, we never went to the hotel. So, I mean, we're excited
you weren't used to the nighttime thing. Yeah.
Right. But we're excited for the hotel coming up this year. I mean, that's something new that none of us have experienced. So, dude,
you're going to love it. It's so cool, man. It's so cool. Because it's like all night for like 4 days. And there's a burlesque show part. Don't worry, Mom, PG burlesque. There's a, whatchamacallit, there's a, they're doing the Boonta Eve, where they're bringing some celebrities in addition to my celebrities to do karaoke and stuff and have a party all night.
That's cool.
So it's no joke, man. It's really, really growing. And it's, honestly, I think the best way to say it is because other conventions, as wonderful as they are and as cool as it is to get XYZ's autograph, because I get that. I go to Celebration. I'm going to go to Celebration. It's going to cost me $10,000 to get out to Japan, but I'm going to do it. You know, I'm a nerd. But it's, the thing is this convention, even though it has the movie stars are not the attraction. Even though it has the vintage toys and the new toys and the toys. The reason why vendor tables work like that is because in order to get a vendor table, you buy the vendor table, and then I got 72 hours to reject you or accept you. So do you know how many tables of soap or gutters or T-Mobiles I've rejected this year? It's bonkers. The reason why it's good tables is because they have to make it past my thing. You know, and that's why I keep the tables very inexpensive, because then I have an influx of extra vendors. So I can pick and choose the ones that are going to bring the best experience. I can pick and choose the ones that are going to do the best things during the day, at night, help with swag, stuff like that. And that builds this thing that it's not about the vendors. It's not about the movie stars. It's not about the tattoos or the food in the VIP or the ice cream or the pie, even though everybody likes the pie. It's not about the droid builders with all their cool droids. It's not about the props, the displays, or the photo ops or anything like that. What it's about is people from all over the world get to come and hang out with their friends. And whether you've made your friends through Facebook or Instagram, or because you guys do a podcast in different towns together, whatever it is, you can meet up with people from literally all over the world. And that's what the attraction is. It is that sleepover factor. We're having a sleepover with our brand new friends. And I have never been to another convention that's that way. I mean, even when I go to the big ones, and I know quite a few people. But at Celebration, just because of all the Facebook groups and everything, but at Celebration, I mean, I'll run into people and, hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, brother, how you doing? We'll take a picture, you know, and whatever. And I give them a coin or whatever, a patch or whatever I got on me, because I like swag. And, but that's it. It's not like we're going to go grab a beer later or eat a burger or hang out in our room and talk about variants of X-Wings. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's the last time I see them. And then there's the people at these big conventions, and you're calling them and going, oh, where are you? And they're like, well, I'm right outside like the convention store. And you're like, oh, I'm in autographs. And it's like, let's meet. Just wait right there and I'll walk 15 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to be family, and that's what we do. And that's what we give to the guest stars. And that's what we give to the attendees. And then that's really what it is. Everything else is just extra. Everything else, we have everything a con has, but we have the intimate family thing going on. And the reason why is because, man, we are who we are. Look behind us. You know, we are who we are. And when we find other people that are like-minded in a comfortable setting where we aren't told to, hey, break it up. You can't just be sitting here in this lobby all night. You know what I mean? Like anywhere else. Hey, shut your door. You can't just have your door open and be selling toys out of it. Like anywhere else, they don't let you do that. Hey, hurry up and move along because you already spent your 3 seconds getting an autograph from this guy, so you're not allowed to talk to him, even though he's still carrying on a conversation with you. Like, I mean, if you're getting weird about it, we do have security that will move you along. But like, if you're just being like, you know, they're talking and you're talking, it's not like, oh, you've gone past the 15 seconds, get out. You know, and those kind of things, even though they aren't quantifiable, to use a giant word for no reason, even though you can't quantify them, they are the value in the heart of this convention. And that's it. I don't know, but I think that's why you can't find it anywhere else, because it's terrible business decisions, and all these other conventions are in it for the money.
Yep. Right. And you can see it too. Like, you definitely can notice.
When I met Hayden at Awesome Con, I doubled up on that autograph because I couldn't decide if I wanted an Anakin or a Vader autograph. So I was like, I'll do both. And they were trying to rush me before he was even done with the second one. And I'm like, I just dropped over $500. I'm going to get 10 seconds to say hello to my childhood hero. And you're going to get over it. Like,
Well, and not to mention that day you had stood in line for probably like 6-7 hours.
Yeah. Literally.
I remember that day.
I don't understand that, man. It can be avoided. Like, you've seen it. It's avoidable. Why do they make you stand there? Wouldn't it be better for them if you were out there buying stuff from their vendors?
Yeah.
Right. Well, they did a weird thing with him in particular at that show. Where he had like 4 different photo ops. He had like one with Rosario Dawson, who was also there, and then like 2 sessions on his own. And then they were all broken up throughout the day. So he went and he signed autographs for 2 hours. Then he left for an hour for photos. And then he was supposed to come back for an hour, but hey, you want lunch sometime. So one of those come back for an hour didn't happen. And then, you know, he was supposed to go for another batch and then come back and it was like back and forth. And I'm just like, can't y'all just pound out photos for like 2 hours?
Well, can't they just be like, don't line up and we're going to have this open at exactly this time, line up.
Right. And then they had like a panel after hours panel with him and Rosario, like an hour after everything ended. And it was like 9 to get into. It was like $50 to get into. And then
it was like 9 p.m. too.
Yeah.
9 at night.
Start for like a half hour after it was like late. And because they had so many people that were still in Hayden's line, and I'm just sitting here like the con ended, like there's still like 100 people ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I want to go to this panel. Like, but then there's a part of me that was like, at this point, you just got to cancel the panel, as many people that are still here, because everyone had pre-purchased. But I mean, that was just horrible mismanagement there, and you guys do great.
But that's also because they try to squeeze every last second out of that guest star's time with panels, dinners, private this, private that, private signings in the back room, whatever. Mm-hmm. And see, we don't do that, man.
Right.
And it's terrible business. It's terrible business. I should work them. I am paying for the rental of their time, you know?
Right.
But I would rather them have a fun time. Because here's the thing. When they're getting run through the ringer and you go up on a Sunday, they are just not fun and they're mad that they're there. When they're having a great time, man, you walk up, you're walking down the hallway being like, "What's up, Emperor?" And he'll be like, "Ah," you know what I mean? And that's like Ian McDermott, man. Like, it's not like, you know.
He was amazing last year.
Like, so cool.
I got to like stand up there and like, because we were there on the first VIP day, and I legit got to like walk up to his table basically at any point in the day. You know, I couldn't get anything like autographed, but like you could just stand, you know, and hang out, and like I got to film my friends getting their autographs, like, and no one like shunned me away, and it was so nice. Yeah.
That's because you should be able to take a picture. Dude, you're walking up, you're getting $500, $600 worth of autographs from Hayden Christensen. I bet you they didn't even let you take a picture of it.
Nope.
and you should be allowed, man. Like,
Right.
what's the problem? Like, I think,
you're-
like, I know Billy D. Williams has a thing with the no cameras in his room, but that's also kind of understandable. I mean, he's up there. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
don't want 50 people crowding around him being like, "Hey, Billy D, look over here," blah blah blah. Because that's just, you know. But I also wanted to make sure I got him before he stops doing cons, and this might be his last year.
Right.
You know, so like that was a huge get. So I made more exceptions, but I'll make exceptions if it's a reason. If it's, you know, you're older or you're this or you're that, fine. But I'm also not going to have you guys, if he doesn't want to start. I'm not sure what his exact times are, but if he doesn't want to start till 1 o'clock or whatever, I won't have you guys line up till like 1:45. You know. And I have personally been standing in a Mark Hamill line for 4.5 hours before he even shows up. And nobody knew that.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally all that requires is a printed out piece of paper on the end of the line.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to stand there for 10 hours, feel free. But we're not going to start lining up till this time.
Yeah.
And this is information that conventions have. I don't know why they don't share it, man. It's very weird. I do not understand that lineup thing. And unless it's because I haven't thrown a convention that big yet. I mean, it's a big convention, but it's not like 60, 70,000 people like these monster conventions. Maybe it's because they need to keep 20,000 people in a line because they have no place to put them. I don't know.
That could be. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the reasoning behind it. I haven't gotten to the point yet where I need to keep a bunch of people in a line. And to tell you the truth, I'd rather be like, hey, listen, go outside, listen to some live music. And but we also do that. Nobody does that. Where it's like, listen, you don't even have to spend anything. You can go just sit in a free chair and listen to free music.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
No, I've gotten really good at the bigger cons where like I'll get in a line and then I'll see the person isn't even there and I got to pull out the con app and are they at a panel or at photo ops? Oh, and they got photo ops right after the panel. And like you're saying, they know this. They wrote their schedule.
Right.
Real quick.
Yeah, and those.
Coma.
Oh, go ahead.
And,
go ahead.
And thanks, Coma, for the super chat earlier. He wants to know, are there pre-sales coming?
Yes, we are currently working on them. They should be going live. This is in a perfect world. Please don't quote me. But they should be going live on the 15th of this month. For VIPs, they go live on the 13th of this month. So if you're a VIP, you get, I think, or maybe it's the 14th. It's either 24 hours or 48 hours before. I don't know. It's listed on the VIP ticket. Yeah, so very, very soon. We've actually been working on it even today. I was working on it about 4 hours ago, and Tim Chapman was working on it. He's our guy that sets up the back end for the photo ops and stuff like that. But we go through International Convention Memories, and they're really wonderful, and they take care of everything. But yeah, we're getting them over. I'll tell you how it works. All right, here's the secret behind the scenes. What happens is I book somebody, and then I send them a contract, and they sign the contract. Then I write them over and over and over and over and over and over and go, what do you charge for your autograph? And then like 3 of them write me back. And then another one 3 weeks later. And then another one texts me. And then another one sends a picture of their table. And the thing is I don't think this comes up for other conventions because honestly, I think other conventions just pick a price. And these people just show up and they have their number and you give them a cut of that price. But since I'm trying to make it exactly what they charge, I've got to like literally hunt down the guest star and be like, listen, how much for your selfie? How much for your photo op? How much for your autograph? And would you like anything in the green room? You know? And
that always gets me because there's so many cons where, and like you said, you know, sometimes it's hard to track down that price. They just won't put the celebrity prices on the page. And I'm just sitting here like, I need to budget. I need to know how much cash to bring. So you need to tell me, are the 3 I'm getting 50? Are they 100? Like,
well, that kind of makes sense too, because I know that we've gone to meet people before. And if, like you said, like they just happen to name their own price without asking what they charge, then you get to the table. If they don't do pre-sale, then they say, oh, well, there was a stipulation with the contract and you actually got to pay $20 more, you know, because I had that happen to me before where like I had to pay $80 instead of $60. And it's like, well, I just stood in line for, you know, an hour, so I might as well, you know, fork out the other $20.
Or
you know?
or the evil, you get to the table and you've brought your own item instead of taking one of my provided 8x10s, $10 upcharge.
Some people do that. Some people do that, man. And there's, you know what's corrupted that? I'll tell you straight out. Like, this is behind the scenes stuff. But the reason why that happens is people have been coming in with Funko Pops and stuff and getting 50 of them, 60 of them signed, and then they go put them right on eBay. And then it screws up these people's value on eBay. Like the value of their signature drops.
Right.
So they don't like signing them. I've had a guest star before. I think it was James Arnold Taylor. Very nice guy. Played Obi-Wan Kenobi, stuff like that. Yep. But he used to do it, and he was the only one I ever saw that did this, but it was a sweetheart thing. He used to do it where if you got it personalized, it was cheaper.
Yeah.
But if you didn't get personalized, it cost you like $40 more or something bonkers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's because he was just trying to avoid people just flipping it. Now, here's the thing, and I don't mean to be that guy at all, but I never understood that from a personal perspective. Because, see, when I do vintage Star Wars toys, because obviously I buy, sell, and trade vintage Star Wars toys, that's how I get my cool vintage Star Wars toy room. You know what I mean?
Right.
And but the thing is once I sell it, who cares? Do whatever you want with it. Burn it. Give it away to a kid. Tie it to a dog. Shoot it on a rocket ship to space. What do I care? I'm out of it. It's your toy. Do whatever you want. So that's why I never really understood that. And I don't really understand the slight increases for different items, but it doesn't. It comes from the guest stars or their agents nowadays. And the problem is they've gotten away with it. I mean, it's the same signature.
Yeah.
They have to do the same amount of work. It should be the same. I agree with you. But there's nothing I could do in some cases, but some cases there are.
My mom in the comments will remember this, but we went to Motor City Con. It would have been 21 or 22. And they had Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
And he was like my last autograph for the day. And it was like 5 or whatever. And we were getting ready to go. It was going to be like, get that autograph and go. But he had a photo op. And we got in his line, and it was like getting closer and closer to that time for the photo op. And it got to where we were like 2 people from him, and it was like 5 minutes till the photo. Yeah. And the dude in front of us had a wagon full of Moff Gideon and Gus Fring Funko Pops.
Yep.
And the dude in front of us gets to Giancarlo Esposito, and Giancarlo looks over the table. He sees the wagon, and he's got this long, it was like 2 of the 4x8 tables, like end to end. And he's like, set up down there. I'll get to you when I'm ready.
Yeah.
And so the dude goes and sets up, and he talks to me and my mom, and we get our selfie with him, and I get my Black Series signed, and he's the nicest dude ever. If you haven't had him for ICCC, you need to track him down. Like you'll get good stories from him.
I haven't yet. I don't have a good connection to him out of all people. I don't know why. He does a lot of conventions.
He does.
He does.
But like he was just super, super nice and just super cordial and one of the nicest we've met. And we step aside and I'm like waiting for my paint pen autograph to dry so I can put my Black Series in the case. And I see him, without saying a word, go up to the wagon guy, pencil whip out his like 40 autographs, shake his hand, and walked away. Never said hi, never said bye. And I'm just like, that's cold, but he handled it perfectly because that was not a fan interaction. That was a business transaction. Like,
I guarantee you the guy that brought the cartload of Pops didn't care either. That's what I'm saying, though. But he did go over and do it, which he should. I mean, who cares?
Right.
Yep. It's not like Giancarlo is going to get out there and start putting his Pops up on eBay.
Right.
So, just let some other guy do it. Who cares? You signed your autographs. You got the extra whatever amount of money. Whatever.
And for especially like me, it's meeting them. It's the signature's cool to take home but that's a memory of meeting them.
Yeah.
Not buying it off the internet. Like I would never buy an autograph off the internet unless it's like maybe someone like deceased or something like that. But it's meeting them and like seeing them face to face. It's that memory.
This is my souvenir of meeting Charlie Cox. This is not going on eBay.
Yeah.
Right.
This is me telling him that I was the only person freaking out when he said I'm a really good lawyer in the movie theater. And because we saw that movie on opening night, and Daredevil walks in, and there was like a real quiet murmur in the crowd, but it wasn't the screaming like when Andrew Garfield and Tobey.
Right.
And I'm just like, it's Daredevil, and I got to tell him all that, and I'm like, that's
nice.
my souvenir. That is not my profit margin. I'm not trying to recoup my cost of going to the con.
Yeah.
And
right.
sometimes like with Hunter, I met Cameron Monaghan, last year, and we didn't think we could get a chance. So I picked up a second autograph, but still, I mean, you go with a wagon full of stuff, and again, it's business, but still. There should be, and I think there are at some cons, like special times where it's like just come after hours or whatever, like for a special event.
Here's the thing. There's autograph guys that do send-ins or bring in stuff, or there's also guys that do it on eBay and stuff like that. The thing is the numbers that the agents charge for these guest stars, if they don't do bulk signings like that, you'll lose your shirt.
Right.
And the ones that are after hours, honestly, man, I'll tell you straight up. Those other cons, Awesome Con, Terrific Con, all the giant ones that are all owned by Informa, if you go look into it, like literally 90% of the conventions on the planet are owned by one company. And
their websites are all the same. I figured there was some sort of monopoly.
Yeah. So what they do, all right, here's the hook. And I'll just tell you straight out, when do you have a convention promoter? I'm going to rat out the industry right now. You ready? What happens is you get the agent charges X number of dollars, right?
Yeah.
That number is unattainable unless you have other ways to make that money to get him up to that number, because it's not physically, humanly possible to sign that many autographs in the amount of time that they're going to be there signing autographs.
Right.
So what happens is usually every single con like those, they will have in the back room a giant setup where there's 1,000 Topps cards set up by Topps. Or 1,000 Funko Pops set up by Funko, or whatever. And then the guest star goes in there, knocks it out real quick, and that comes down off the guarantee. The thing is I don't have those because I'm not a corporate convention. Yeah, so I don't have those extra outlays and extra things. Like it's and that's what makes it tough. I mean, I wish there was two different prices, because what happens is, okay, now let's talk about the buying power. Since 90% of the conventions are owned by Informa, it's one company. You can really look this up. Just Google. Be like, whatever convention you like, who owns it? And it's going to come up. Eventually, you're going to get to Informa. And what happens is they will go and they will say, hey, we have 47 conventions this year in America and in Canada. We're going to contract you by paying you $2 million, but if you do any other convention, your price is $500. You're not allowed to do panels. You can't do any advertisement, and you can't be pictured in front of their logo.
Right.
Okay.
So if you notice how all these same people are at the same website looking convention, even though they got all different names, and it's all the same people going one-to-one, you won't find them at any mom and pops or anything like that, because they contract them out. Like, for example,
that makes sense.
I can't do an example because I really want him to come one day, and eventually he won't be subcontracted for a couple $1 million. But what happened is it was one guest star, and I'll just say one guest star, an important guest star that I'd like to have. And for me, they had to be in the cave. They couldn't do any interviews. They couldn't do a panel. They couldn't do the podcast stage, and they couldn't make any kind of personalizations whatsoever, only sign their autograph for $500,000. Now, if you do the math on that, man, it's impossible for them to hit their number. So they want to hit a guy like me for $200,000 out of my pocket,
right,
and have an easy weekend. And the reason why is it's not the actual actor, but they have agents in place to make the best deal possible. Now, the thing is if, say, these conventions want to get XYZ movie star, they're not talking to XYZ movie star, they're talking to their agent.
Yeah,
so they say, hey, if we can get all these rules in place where he's not allowed to do panels at other conventions, can't be in front of any other convention's logo, can't, sign anything, can't be like, ha ha ha, and write it on a thing, because that's not allowed. And also the autograph prices, are increased on your end. Like they'll be like, well, the autograph's $500 a year, and you'll be like, why is it $400 at Terrificon? And they'll be like, well, we have a special contract with them.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, so they make it so you'll fail. And the reason why is because these giant corporate conventions go in and they purchase up every good little convention there is. They've tried to even throw money at me. And I'm like, listen, guys, I'm a crazy person that does this for fun. So I have real jobs that pay my bills. So there's no number for me. Right. And they hate it because I control the Nashville market. And it's a big market now. The thing is they, so they make these deals and they make the multi-million-dollar deal. And then what happens is XYZ for that big deal goes, well, you know, I'd love to do the deal and $2 million is fine. And it's fine for us to sign those other things, but I'm going to need $50,000 up front. And you just wire that. And then that place says, okay, because they're doing a $2 million contract. Who cares about 50 grand? But I'm telling you, every single time that wire transfer number goes directly to the agent, never passes go. Nobody ever hears about it. And it never goes to the guest star. And it drives me nuts. I've had to do it in the past. I've had to do it even with some recently. And it was like, you know I am literally sending you $10,000 to you just because you happen to be the guy that's going to pitch the contract to the movie star. And it's tough, man. So that ends up happening, and it makes it tougher when everybody, I'm sorry to be talking so much, but when everybody, very seldom do people ask about like the behind the scenes, man. It's always like, what's your favorite Star Wars toy? So this is great.
Tommy's calling it right here. This is
nice.
You know, that I'm loving this.
It's totally behind the scenes. I'll shoot you straight because
build for years.
Yeah.
And I love like the business side of everything. Yeah. Like that stuff just like interests me to no end. So I'm sitting here listening like, oh, this is interesting.
Right.
Nice, yeah.
Well, like it's cool to sorry, go ahead.
There's a channel, Nerd Zoic, who started as reviewing, but he started his own toy store, and now his channel's all about running a toy store. And I'm like, that's one of my most favorite toy channels.
Nice.
And I'm like, it's because it's not the normal. So like, I'm eating this up.
Yeah, this is definitely different than any podcast I've ever done. And I am saying a bunch of things that might get me in trouble, but whatever. I have no one to get in trouble to. I run the joint and I'm paying for it. So who cares?
Blame me.
Well,
but
I will
for
say,
example, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, you know, talking about questions that we come up with as far as like things that are being run behind the scenes, you know, like you got a lot of time to think about these questions when you're wondering why you're standing in line for 6 hours to meet Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
And then in the end, you're like, man, was it worth it? Yeah.
It, see, all right, for example, you know how we moved from April to October this year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
But a lot of other conventions it didn't really affect. The thing is the Screen Actors Guild went on strike. During the Screen Actors Guild strike, technically, they were not allowed to sign any struck items. That means if you have Michael Keaton, he is not allowed to sign a picture of Batman or a Batman pop. He's only allowed to sign his headshot. Okay?
Interesting.
So the thing is the big boy conventions, that doesn't matter. Because all you do is you still have the back room full of Funko Pops that are Batman that he walks in the back room and signs.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how they're able to afford it and stay open. But I don't have those back rooms. And the reason why is because I don't have a 45 convention contract with them like Funko does. You know what I mean? Like, guys, I don't know if you guys are Funko Pop collectors, and I don't mean to burst the bubble of any Funko Pop collectors, and I am quite sure there are rare ones that I'm just not thinking about. But I do know when I was trying to get a Funko Pop for my convention, for a convention exclusive, the minimum order was $60,000.
Oh, wow.
Minimum.
Ooh.
For a convention exclusive pop, the minimum order was $60,000. That is directly from Funko's mouth. And I said, $60,000? And I started thinking about it. And what I started thinking about,
Stan Lee's.
Yeah, you don't even think about it, right? But everybody's running, kill themselves to get that exclusive. Yeah, and the thing is, I started thinking about it. And I'm like, you know what I noticed? As soon as a convention's over, you walk in a Hot Topic and they got walls of that pop. And you walk into an EB Games and they got walls of that pop. Well, shoot, guys, if I had 60,000 Funko Pops, but I also happen to own 7,000 video game stores across the United States and 8,000 Hot Tops. It'd be very easy to move those.
Yeah,
right.
That's what they do. There are so many things that are set up in place to crush the cons like this because they don't want you. You're eating their food, man, and they don't like it because it's corporate. They are corporate, and they know it, and that's the way it is. So they actually build their contracts in order to make it impossible for me to get certain people for certain years because they are contractually obligated to do a very bad job for me. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's in their contract, and that's the no signing autographs. No, how can you not go on a panel? Do 45 minutes on a stage? But not for me, but you're on a panel at every single Terrific Con. Yeah. Or 2 panels, or 3 panels, or a nighttime auxiliary panel for an extra $50. What is that? Yeah. So anyway, there. Those are all the things that grind my gears. There you go. I mean,
you mentioning that, you definitely notice a trend on like who goes to who, what conventions. Like we've 100%. Been to a few fan expos, and it's like, you can tell.
If you look behind the curtain, dude, man, you can connect the threads for sure.
Yeah, I mean, now that you say it, like it makes sense. Yeah.
No, if you wanna meet Amonis Fondi this year, point at a city that has a fan expo, you'll find him there.
Right.
Yeah.
Great guy. I love the guy. But I mean,
great guy. Oh, the guest stars are great that sign there and stuff like that. But yeah, dude, it's like they practically just put them all on a bus and they go like 6 miles down the road, and it's like. Fan Expo Dallas, Fan Expo San Francisco, Fan Expo, and then the thing is, then you go into the other ones too. Even the other ones, man. What is it? Even the fanboys and stuff like that. Nobody. I live in Nashville. There was no decent convention in Nashville, so I made one. I'm a Star Wars nerd that collects Star Wars, so I made one. But I'm telling you, they don't like me.
Well,
that's okay because I think there's plenty of us that do. What you do. I was
going to say all of us do. So
that's why I wanted to get Lando, man, because he has that tagline. There's more of us, Poe, and there are more of us, man. We can fight this power, and I am the crazy enough person to not just sell out. I won't ever sell out. I don't care. They could give me $8 billion. I'll be like, no, thanks.
Right.
What are you going to do with it? You can't take it with you.
Right. Yep.
And like I told you, I keep telling these guys when we go to other shows, remember it's not ICCC.
Wow.
But it was just such a blast last year. Y'all hooked me with that Rebels panel or with that Rebels reunion, and all my friends were bummed when Freddie had canceled. But I actually met at Motor City Con the spring before. And I totally get how that.
Dude, I was super bummed. I think it was $35,000 on exclusive lightsabers for him.
Right, and didn't even make it.
It's kind of hard to sell a Kanan Jarrus lightsaber without Kanan Jarrus in the building. I'll be honest.
True.
But we had like I said, that was our big not even reunion. That was our first union. And that was our big YouTuber get together for all of us, and the booth selection was amazing. I mean, when it comes to my Black Series, I do reviews. So usually when something's coming out, I pick it up. I don't ever find a lot at cons, but there was that Hyperspace Props where they had like all the metal like Republic credits and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's still one of my most favorite booths I've ever seen anywhere. The Rebel Sabers, those people are awesome, and I've ran into them at so many cons since. And we had our little group of our favorite vendors that we have talked to and stayed in touch since. And weird, I have gone to so many cons, and you make your buddy in line, the guy next to you you'll talk to waiting for a few hours, but that's about where the intimacy of it ends. And ICCC, I mean, there's just, man, I had like a 2-hour vlog total runtime after last year of just the highlights and stuff there. I've never been to a con other than that one time that I ran into Jim Cummings in the bathroom at Motor City Con. I've never had a con that I've just ran into the celebrities while out and about doing stuff.
Yeah.
We, I think Jacob talked about it when 1313 had you on, but there was the catfish sandwich food truck out back last year.
Okay.
And we're hungry, so we're like, let's go out there. And we're in line for this catfish sandwich, and I see Jacob just go, next to me because John Rhys Davies is walking right up at me. He's beelining me, and I'm holding a battle droid action figure, a battle droid.
Nice.
I just bought. And he's like, "Hey, what you got there?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a battle droid from Star Wars." And he's like, "You like any other George Lucas stuff?" And I was like, "I sure do, because I know what you're from." Like, I'm just trying to process that I'm just getting to talk to him. And he's like, what do they got here? And I was like, catfish sandwiches. And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. So I recommend him the catfish sandwich I haven't had yet. Kind of dry.
He had an entire area in green room to eat in, but he's a sweetheart.
Yeah. We let him hop in front of us, so he just grab it. But the catfish sandwich, not gonna lie, kind of sucked. It was really dry. And but I caught him in his line later, and I was like, "What do you think of your sandwich?" And he's like, "It was terrible." And I was like, "I'm sorry." Like, but no,
you should have been like, "Mine was delicious. I'm sure glad I let you cut."
Yeah,
All right.
No, but he was. I mean, and I didn't even get his autograph. I was just broke by the time we were done with everything. But I was like,
"Yeah, it happens."
I mean, that's just one of those just most favorite con memories, and that's the stuff that happens at your show that doesn't happen anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you the reason that happens at my show, at our show, it's we have stellar security that you can't see 90% of,
right?
Like top shelf security, and the guest stars become so comfortable because most of the times you guys go to cons. I'm sure you walk into the con and you're walking past a security guard that didn't check you, didn't check the bag, didn't check the carrying case, didn't check anything, that you know darn well couldn't run me down if I was trying to run away from him. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and so the guest stars feel that discomfort as well at those places because they're famous folks, man. Sometimes you get weird folks, you know, that are trying to like turn you into a skin lamp or something, you know? So once they meet and get comfortable with our security detail, and once they meet and get comfortable with the way our show is run, then they start getting comfortable, and that's why they go to Catfish Shacks when they have perfectly great meals inside that's prepared for them.
Yeah,
you know. But they like hanging out with the community. They like being around you guys, and that's the reason. You also notice it with our attendees. I mean, we don't get the weird ones or the mean ones or I don't know if I've ever heard anybody like shouting at another person at this convention.
Right.
Like, and that's weird, man. There's a lot of people in the building.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But I think it's all because I don't know. I think it's because we're all the same person. We just happen to meet up in Nashville once a year.
I was going to say, you're like walking around the convention floor and it's like everyone is your friend. Like immediately, like you're looking at what they're buying and you're like, that's awesome. I have that too. Or, you know, you're instantly friends. You have something to connect over and bond over. So it's just a great environment.
Thanks, man. That's what we're going for.
The only thing I've ever said is the only thing I hated about ICC last year was that I didn't bring enough money.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that's okay. There's always time to come back. And that's why I tell you, man, do the room sales at night, man. Make more money at night. You'll be all right.
Right.
You know,
my dream is for everybody to come and go home with more than they came with.
Right.
Stuff and money.
I got nothing to sell. I'm looking to fill that room up. But no, it was
a bunch of us that are going, we plan on like having like a huge what do you call it? Like
Airbnb.
Just showing our collection off in like one big pile.
Oh yeah.
Like, nice. Whatever all our pickups, you know?
Yeah.
Just in one big mountain.
No,
dude, I love it, man.
Yeah, we totally missed the hotel openings, so we have an Airbnb booked about 10 minutes away from the hotel.
Well, make sure you keep going back to the hotel at night and stuff. There's a lot of different things that aren't on the. See, here's the thing too. Me being who I am and it not being a corporate convention, what I do is I do the pretend I don't see it thing. Right. You know? So what I do is I go, okay, I'm leaving at 5:00 now. I'll have a nice night's sleep and be good kids. And then I go and, you know, I go to sleep and eat Taco Bell in a room and, you know, pass out. And, but then everybody like, they'll throw a party or they'll throw like, for example, just the ones that do my circus, they were asking me if they could have fire. And what I said, so if they could like throw fire, well, but still, there you go, a convention where there's fire. But we got laser tag outside. I'm bonkers, So that's why things happen here that don't happen at regular ones. Because wouldn't you like to play laser tag? I mean, I haven't played laser tag in like 20 years. That sounds like fun.
Right.
But
That sounds like
what
Star
I do
Wars.
is, I just pretend it's like, I'm like, I'm going to bed. But I make sure that, I have somebody who's been talking about room sales all year with their room sale Facebook page. And then I make sure that there's, I drop hints about whether it's the burlesque show or the circus or the Boonta Eve or stuff like that. And even though I'm not directly running them, I want them, like, even, it was funny, the Boonta Eve guy, because he does it a lot of places, and a lot of different cons, and they do this nighttime thing. And when he first talked to me, because a friend of mine hooked him up with me, and he calls me on the phone and he's like, I'd like to do a Boonta Eve, but I don't know if it's okay. What would you need? How much would we have to give you per person that walks in the door? How much would we have to do for this? Is there any way we can rent a space? We have to try to keep it inexpensive, but we do have this much money. I'm like, dude, you're going to do something at night in a room I'm not using? Have fun.
Right.
Like, I'm not charging him nothing. I don't care. But he's sitting there on the phone like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, are you going to improve the magic at the show? Then you can come. You know what I mean? That's all I want. I want this to be an unbelievable magical experience, which I hope you guys felt last year. And if I can continue to make that happen every year for more and more people, then eventually we're going to have something that is able to stand the test of time against these giant corporate monsters. So when we're living in a world of AI robots, we'll still have one place where we could get together and be kids again. And that's all I'm trying to do.
And we're honestly a testament to that, because we're, we've been talking about ICC 2024 since ICC 2023. So it's like, and we're, like we said, we went to DC to AwesomeCon. I don't think any three of us are going back there. So we're the testament to that environment is just ultimately going to bring us back again. So it's just perfect.
Well, I think, and that's what's going to grow it eventually on its own and make it big enough. And I'm starting up a charity for vintage collectors and stuff. That's coming. That'll be information you'll find out at ICCC. It's going to be the next big announcement. But even that, it'll allow us to eventually, hopefully, build our own place that'll allow us to control the situation better, i.e. have the ability to always have food trucks or have the ability to have picnics or whatever. Not get rid of the Riot Act if you want to have fireworks because you can't have fireworks. I mean, you can have fireworks. They just got to be far enough away. You know what I mean? And when you own the venue, you can make those decisions. And the reason why I want to do that eventually is because even though I am a crazy person for vintage Star Wars and modern Star Wars and Star Wars in general, why can't a crazy person that happens to be a crazy person for Marvel do it as well? Or somebody who's a crazy person for sneakers or guitars or hats or baseball cards or whatever. And the problem in Nashville, because Nashville has grown so much, is that the venues here are all taken up by the Coca-Colas and the country music awards of the world.
Right.
So there is no, I want to throw a convention and not bang everybody up place. I mean, imagine if I go to the Music City Center downtown and I avoid it like the plague, but everybody would have to pay $45 a day to park.
Yeah.
That's like a convention ticket to park.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay $12 to $15 for a soda. And then God forbid you go to lunch, you're walking into downtown Nashville eating a $45 hamburger. Like, just to eat for the day, and then you go to your hotel room across the street and it's $735 a night instead of $199 at a 4-star hotel.
Right.
You know what I mean? So everything I do tries to mitigate the cost because I want you guys to have more money to be able to buy stuff to take home, but I also want more money to go to the vendors because I care about them too. And all these different things are what makes this magic, and hopefully this magic eventually will allow this to continue, not only continue, but also grow with other people that have a vision like mine in other realms, whether sneakers, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, whatever, Star Trek, I don't care. But it'll give them a place to go that'll be like, this is set up for conventions. It's the shape of a convention hall. You can do this here, you can do that here, and also be able to keep the cost low on the convention promoter side. Because no matter what way you cut it, guys, I walk into a 4-star Music City Sheraton and I just buy the entire place. And not everybody can do that.
Right.
Like it's you know, and then I just hope you guys will come and like get me back. You know what I mean? Like essentially I just put on the cuff the entire party and hope people come. So that's why it thanks, brother. I appreciate it. But yeah, lots of information. IC for Life's going to be awesome. Wait till you even hear what it is. And it not only brings longevity to this thing, it also gives a board of directors. So that way, if Crazy Mike Havens kicks the bucket one day, it'll have people who will be able to continue on all the things that have been built, because I want this community to last forever. I love you guys. I love those 1313 guys. They're like 12 years old. Shoot, man, somebody's got to do it forever now. And you know, I'm already 43, so somebody's going to have to step up eventually. And I want to keep it going forever, because in this world, man, where you can't even go to a restaurant anymore, like every car is owned by Ford. You know what I mean? Like Porsche. Austin Martin is owned by Ford. You can't go anywhere. You can't go to a McDonald's that isn't owned by a Taco Bell. You know what I mean? There is no mom and pops. They're gone. And if you're crazy enough and you will not ever give it up, you can still do it. And that's what I hope I can still do. But with the support of people like you and other podcasts and other people and attendees and people that talk about this show all year, we're going to be able to do it, man. And it's going to be able to create something to at least keep these corporate meat machines at bay, man. You can't tell me you don't walk out of there feeling like you've been in a blender and $4,000 less in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's my thing is, and I always tell them, I was like, you know, we go to GalaxyCon or Fan Expo or whatever. If you walk out at the end of the day with every autograph you wanted, that's the victory, let alone any shopping or anything.
Right.
The bar is lower. And I'm just like, you know, at ICCC, I'm already planning. I'm going to buy the coolest lightsaber I can find from one of the saber vendors, and something that I didn't know exists. And there's going to be someone that has resin printed figure accessories or something that you know, completely blows your mind. And it's so catering to the collector. And that's, I mean, I go to Fan Expo and GalaxyCon all the time, and I feel obligated to like buy a lanyard or something. That way I can pretend I have a haul.
I'd give you the lanyards for free.
Right. I don't get a single figure by the end of it. I mean, Galaxy.
But man, it's Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention. Mm-hmm. It's for collectors, and we're all collectors. Everybody on the staff has a collection. Stop anyone on the staff when you are there and say, "What do you collect?" And I guarantee you it's something.
There we go.
That's awesome.
Probably Star Wars, and probably vintage Star Wars, because I've known most of them for a while.
Hey, you gotta have your favorite thing. We're mostly Black Series here, but but you know, I mean, there's something for everyone. And I mean, there was all sorts of old Saga Legends 375 and tons of stuff. And I mean, if you're looking for an action figure, you know, something where you would be like, I can't just find that at a con, I got to go on eBay, it's probably at ICCC. I mean, that was like, you know, if you're missing some stuff in your collection, like, go check it out. And you're getting all sorts of shout outs on our end. I don't think we've brought up a Comic-Con on any of our friends' channels streams in the last year and not been like, and we're excited for ICCC. Like,
I appreciate it.
The word of mouth is getting insane.
That's what it is, man. It's a bunch of nerds helping nerds. That's all we do, man. And I love it. The support that I get from podcasts like yours and other folks that have attended or checked it out, it's really what grows this convention. I mean, I'm just trying to bring you an entertaining experience. I'm trying to create magic for you. I'm trying to make it as all immersive as possible. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to bring you good movie stars and good vendor tables. That's my job. But as far as the growth and everything, I mean, shoot, man, I don't know. I just appreciate the heck out of it, because I'm one guy with one voice. But just right here on this one, that's 4 with 4 voices. Right. And then just with the people watching, that's 50 with 50 voices. And then so on and so forth. And that makes it, by it growing that way, it makes it not a sterile, blah, 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 garbage meat grinder, man. I don't know how else to say it. Like, the major reason why I started this thing is because I was so ticked off at one of those meat grinders with a $750 VIP badge around my neck, $750 badge around my wife's neck. I'm sitting there eating a $35 plate of orange chicken I wouldn't feed my worst enemy with a $9 Coke. And I got a tepid water cooler in the corner. I was so mad. And I was like, we can do this better. Why don't we just do this better? And that's why our VIP feeds you. You get free food every day with VIP. You get free pie, free ice cream, free sodas. You know what I mean? And nobody does that because it's bad business, but it makes magic. And magic is important. And one person that knew that was Walt Disney. And before he passed away, all he cared about was creating magic. Everything else would come. Everything else would come. As long as you gave the people that feeling of, man, when's the last time you felt like a kid? And I bet you're going to say ICCC.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going for. Like, that's it.
That's it.
13 here.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm legit.
Well,
actually, as a matter of fact, I just won 3rd place in a trivia contest about Star Wars at a convention. That's how legit I am.
Nice.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of people since the last ICC last year, and we talked to like some younger guys that have just gotten older, and they say they've never been to a convention, and we're like, well, if you're gonna go to one, your first one, you have to start with ICC because it's going to be like nothing you've ever experienced. It's like going to like a regular, whatever boring convention. You got to start with ICC if you're going to go to one, is what we tell these guys. And then just to meet up with everybody. I mean, we know guys that live in, Oklahoma, North Carolina, I live in Wisconsin and, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Like we're all over the Midwest, East Coast, South. I mean, we're all over the states, and we come together, and we had a group of like 10 to 15 people last year, and I think it's going to grow to like 20 to 25.
I was going to say it's probably double this year.
Well, because what happened was we all did our big vlogs last year, and we uploaded them, and our friends that didn't go were like, "Why did we miss this?"
Yeah, they missed out on. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. The way it grows. Hey, you guys know how it is. I mean, there's a reason why an organic tomato is 3 times the price of a tomato in the store. Because there's something missing, man. Once it goes corporate, once it gets all the everything on it, and it's kind of like that whitish, pinkish tomato. That's what these other things are. And we're like a delicious strawberry off the vine. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. But I hear you. I don't mean to be too hyped about it, but honestly, the reason why I do it is it's because of this. Like, you don't know how good it feels after all this work and all this time to have people that get it.
Yeah.
We love it because of this. Dude, thank God. That's what I'm going for. You love it because of that? That's wonderful, because I've been like, it's taken 6 years of my life, like, good. That's and I'm telling you, man, when I'm shaking hands at the front of the building and saying welcome, I don't know. It feels so good. It feels so good because you just know that it's something that, I don't know, like that person that I just shook their hands going to have a good day. And you know how hard that is to give somebody in 2024 a good day?
Exactly.
Man, I don't know. So that's what I get out of it. Originally I did it because I didn't want to pay $35 for darn orange chicken that tasted like garbage ever again. But now it's become this other thing because the love, man, the compassion. It's so funny. I'll go places and I'll post it up and be like, oh, I had a Yankee game or something. And somebody will be like, hey, dude, you want to stop by and see the collection or come to dinner? Like anywhere I go now. And it's so wonderful because I don't know. You know how hard it is to make friends after you're 35 years old?
Yeah.
Right.
And I've got like an extra 30,000 friends, and I'm happy, man. So yeah, no complaints from me, and I'm so glad that you guys love it, and I'm so glad you talk about it, because as long as it grows, then I can stop hemorrhaging money every year and like break even, which would be cool.
Right. And don't underestimate it. Like, I mean, feel good about it for real.
Yeah.
Because,
Thank you.
I mean, it has to be one of my top 2023 memories. Like,
legit.
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
Brought up so often, and I mean, the amount of people there that had to have had the time of their life that last weekend last year. I mean, don't underestimate that, dude. You're doing something awesome and feel good about it. And you know what? You're the big guy on the block, all right? You're doing something great here. So
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Don't minimize. You are the cool kid in school.
Yeah.
And to go along with that, I mean, last year I know that your convention brought some of us together that only knew each other online.
Yeah.
That now I know that we're going to be like lifelong friends because of the experience that we had going to ICC. So.
Yeah, Hunter here, like we've been talking for years. I didn't even like him before last ICC.
Oh man.
No, Hunter's been a real one. But no, yeah, Wilbon right here. We met Wilbon at ICCC last year. Never knew that this perfect specimen of a man existed.
Right.
And we knew of Zach, who does the Black Series Cantina podcast, and we'd never even met Zach. He just runs a good podcast, and we all watched it. And then so like Zach's there, I'm like, Zach, and he's like, and I brought my buddy Wilbon, and now like Wilbon's like in my like private circle. Like it's awesome. I mean, like for real, like I mean, I have made this whole YouTube thing, I have made some of my most real lifelong friends through it. Yeah. And this is a great place for everyone to get together at. So I mean, like, you're doing something awesome here, don't?
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
And I'm sure there's 30,000 other people that have the same exact story where they're like, I met this person and that person. It's honestly mind blowing. It's so cool.
So there's maimings at ICCC.
At the demolition derby, he was standing too close to the fence. That's all.
So are we gonna get the insider on the insurance policy now behind this?
Yeah, right. No, there's an insurance policy. You can go sign up for that for sure. No, you know the kind of insurance policy you need to throw a demolition derby at a sci-fi convention? I'll tell you, it's massive. And the reason why is that's why you don't see them at all the other sci-fi conventions. It's massive. If you get a helicopter flying over your demolition derby, you'd be surprised, but the costs do go way up.
I never got to do it last year. I wanted to, and it just didn't fall into place.
Oh no, dude! There was too much to do last year. That was the other thing. There was too much to do in the time frame. But there still will be. I always like to just throw a curveball, man. I want something you've never seen at a convention. Right. Whether it's laser tag or a circus or a zoo with an alligator with Loki antlers, whatever it is, a demolition derby, it's got to be something different. Yeah. So that way you're at ICC Con,
Definitely.
No, it was a blast. So yeah, no, I mean, keep it up. I mean, we're there every year. So
thank you so much.
And we're just counting down the days, itching for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, 7 weeks about?
Yeah, 7 weeks.
Something like, yeah. So we're getting
there, man. It's getting there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The badges are in production and everything, like I was saying at the beginning. So it's rolling, man. It's we're on the train tracks. There is no turning back.
Cool. Best scar he ever got, he says. So
there we go.
It was a good name. No, we're
free souvenir.
No, you're right. No, I'm excited. It's gonna be a great time, and counting down the days because it's gonna. I mean, like I said, we've got our Airbnb planned out. We're figuring out how we're gonna carpool and stuff.
Nice.
And it's gonna be. I mean, just for our group of 20 that are gonna be meeting, it's gonna be a great time. Do you know? I don't know exactly where. I just know it was somewhat nearby to the fairgrounds last year. But Papa Turney's Barbecue, is that a well-known local place? Or
I don't know it.
So one of our group members found it on Google Maps last year, and we were like, "Let's go!" And that place was awesome. We're going.
Was it good? Well, here's the thing, dude. If it's not good barbecue in Tennessee, it's not going to be around more than 3 days.
Right. Yeah.
Like if it's a bar that doesn't put a double shot in the glass, it's not going to be around next week.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good barbecue when it all comes out in styrofoam to-go dishes.
Yeah.
It was small timey, but it was real good.
Well, you can still find the ones where they put on like those silver prison trays.
Okay.
Right. Oh wow.
So
Yeah, man.
yeah, we have to invite. We'll remind you there, but I'm inviting you. So you're.
Oh, I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, if I got any time. Usually I'm eating a pulled pork sandwich in a closet. That's how I usually eat at the convention. Like literally. And
Right.
like I was in a supply closet with like mops and buckets last year. And I was just like pounding a sandwich because I'm always doing something, you know?
Well, I hear you speaking all these cover stories, but we all know that you're doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe sunglasses and ball cap disguise walking around.
Yeah, right.
Always.
I'm the random giant stormtrooper you see walking around. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah, Wilbon's got it. Papa Turney ain't ready for our group. It's doubled this year. Yeah, there was no separate tables. It was just rows of booths. Like you could sit 40, 20.
It's family style, we call it down here. Family style, yeah.
But no, I mean, there's so many inside jokes and just stuff from last year alone, and it's gonna be.
That's what builds the friendships, man. That's wonderful. Yeah. I love it.
So
Papa Turney's needs to get some stickers or something. You guys would be hyping it on the podcast. You'd have Guy Fieri there next week. What's up?
It gets brought up every time that we get to talking about ICCC. We're excited to go to Nashville. We're excited to get some new autographs. We're excited to go to Papa Turney's. I mean,
nice.
Last year, and I guess I got to thank you here too. We had Jacob from 1313 desperately wanted us all one night to end up going into Nashville to do some sightseeing, and like you said, home of the $40 hamburger. And but I tell you, we were almost open to close every day at the con last year, and we were just so tired that it just never happened. It was just go back to the room and crash.
Right.
And, so I thank you for
that. He's going to drag you out this time because I think it's only 8 minutes away from downtown. So
okay, yeah, we'll get it. We'll get out there once.
But the excuses dry up pretty quick when it's a $10 Uber.
Yeah.
Wilbon's got a good point here. We should see if they got a food truck.
There you go.
Are there going to be any trucks this year, or does the hotel not allow that?
The hotel does not allow that. I'm currently trying to do something, but they're giving me pushback. The thing is all right, here's the thing. Same thing as I do with attendees. Here, I'm telling you all the truth. I told you at the very beginning, you ask me anything, and I will tell you straight out. What's going on is the hotel wants to charge me $2,500 a day to have food trucks. If I charge $2,500 a day to have food trucks, and the food trucks' prices go up on their food, or else I got to charge them $2,500 a day to show up. Right. If I charge them $2,500 a day to show up, they're going to not make enough money, and it's going to stink for them when they could literally go down the block and park anywhere. That's the point of a food truck.
Yeah.
Well, that might be something to look into if there's.
You know what? That's actually kind of. You know what? I'm thinking of it right here. That's a good idea, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, if there's a shut down Kmart down the road or something.
No, you know what? There's actually a food truck place where they park food trucks, and it's no more than 10 minutes. I'm. Like literally, this is you were like, oh, how do you get ideas to tell ideas to the con? There it is.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, I bet you there's a place real close where I could be like, hey, listen, they wouldn't let us have food trucks, but literally 5 minutes away, there happens to be a giant parking lot full of food trucks. I think people would be cool with that.
Oh yeah, food trucks that you like to set up there that day, and then you just
I mean, I've got all the food trucks because I had the connection from last year. Well, that's the problem. Last year it cost $100. Fine, $100. I'll throw away $100 per food truck.
Who cares? Yeah,
$2,500 a day.
Yeah,
that's an extra $10,000. I'm lighting on fire to have food trucks that serve dry catfish. Like, actually, there was a really good taco one there, though. I ate it. It was delicious.
I missed it. I wish I had anything other than that. I mean, I tell you, I bit into it and I was like, well, there goes my teeth. Like, it was.
Yeah.
I think I got.
But no, the Music City Sheridan has actually a phenomenal restaurant, and if you're looking for something to eat, I highly suggest the. It's a fried chicken sandwich, and like the piece of chicken is like bigger than the giant bun, and it's like they have really good food. So that's good,
Wilbon here saying have a food truck lot, call it the Imperial Commissary Cafeteria. You're running.
I love it.
Write that down.
Right.
You know what? I will, man. I will.
Imperial Commissary. I mean, come on. That's it. That's the name of it. You got to do it now.
Commissary Cafeteria. I like it.
Trademarks go to Wilbon.
There you go. But no, it. Why not, man?
Yeah.
Why not? But I'm all about thinking outside the box. Like literally, okay, you can go and you can park at the venue. It's going to cost you like $14 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I talked to a giant corporate building right next door that's not currently rented out. And I'm like, can I borrow your parking lot and bus people? And they're like, yeah, sure. So now you can free parking right there in Nashville. Free parking in Nashville? Shoot, man. That's like finding a nice, cool glass of water in the desert. It doesn't exist, you know?
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's like little things like that. And if everybody doesn't use it, that's fine. If you want to pay the $14 and park real close, that's fine too. But if you want to save the money, I'll give you ways to save the money. That's the other thing I always say, you know, I always say that the sandwich thing. If you want to bring a sandwich and some chips, go ahead.
Sure.
You know, we're not going to stop you, man. I don't want you to bring your family of 4 and have to spend $150 on lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're doing everything right. I mean, it's,
you know, I used to be, you know, what was it? 8 and under until I was 13. So I get it, man. You know, in order to do nice trips as a family, you got to make it, you know, however you can.
Yeah. Comic Cons have gotten so commercialized and they got a nickel and dime you every step of the way. And it's, I mean, what can you do? How can you spend under $100 and have a family outing for 4? You know,
Yeah.
2 kids. There's nothing you can do anymore.
Come to ICCC on Sunday.
See on Sunday.
You know, for you can get that. We did it last year. I was on a podcast and we were figuring out the prices and we were like, you know what? It's actually cheaper to come to ICC Con on Sunday with Sunday passes for a family of 4 than it is just to go to the movies.
Yeah.
Without popcorn.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I mean, we give kids up to, I don't know what the age is, so I don't want to say it out loud, but we give them like free tickets up to, I think 5, and then over 5, I think it's like, I don't know, $10 a day or something. It's so cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, and that's the thing. You got to think of longevity in this thing, man. Who's going to buy all my Boba Fett's when I break my hip at 75 if kids don't like Boba Fett?
Right.
Got to get these kids hooked when they're young.
That's it.
No, I'm my budget is eternally pissed at the person that sold me the Phantom Menace on VHS for $0.25 at a yard sale when I was 7, because I would have a lot more money if that never happened.
Sure enough.
Or you could think of it this way: you'd be a lot more
downhill.
You'd be a lot more depressed, though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cat would have a different name than Ahsoka. I'd tell you what.
Well, guys, I've got 9 minutes left till I'm called to dinner. So I got a guest star for you, right? Did I send you a thing?
You didn't send me a thing. I can give you here on the.
And if I didn't send you a thing, then I can't give you the guest star I was going to give you. Let me go pick a different one. Hold on.
Man. Well, on private.
Because I sent somebody a thing today with the graphic.
Okay.
And if it wasn't you, then it was another podcast I'm going on a later date.
Okay.
So let me not waste his guest star and find you a new guest star. Just give me a second. I'm on the back end of the website here.
You're good. I just dropped on the private chat here the email address if you had a graphic you wanted to send.
Chat. Yeah, sure. Here. You know what? Why not? We've been talking about them. This is hilarious. Here, I'm going to make it live right now. Published. Checkbox. Give me 1 second, and I'll send it to you.
Hybrid's going to see it and be like, what? We're going to be waiting.
Well, there's going to be like a 10-second window where me and only me knows about this. So
there you go.
See, this was Hybrid's way to sneakily get your direct email.
Yeah, no worries. Well, actually, because I'm not a horrible convention promoter, my real email is right on ICCC.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes to me.
Oh, man. Bly's praying for my downfall here. I've been telling 1313, I hope mine's cooler than theirs.
Which one was theirs?
It was
Timothy's on.
Yeah.
And then
that's pretty cool, man. This one's really cool, though. You'll dig it. Here, hold on. ICCC, attach file. Okay, there you go. Just sent it. And it's funny because that did come up today.
Just sitting here anxiously refreshing the inbox.
Yeah, I definitely sent it.
Oh, it'll take a second.
No worries.
Oh. Right to spam. What kind of business are you running?
I know, right? Right to spam. It's because I send so many emails.
All right.
Add me to your safe senders list.
We got Chris Parsons.
Nice. There you go. We were talking about Forlom before. Forlom
cool.
He's actually really, really cool because he's been a ton of different characters in Star Wars. He's been a stormtrooper. He's been a snow trooper. He's been Forlom Zuckuss. Also the white droid from Empire. I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
K-3PO?
Yeah, K-3PO. Yep, for sure. And he was also a Hoth Snowspeeder pilot. Death Star droid, E3PO, R3PO. So yeah, lots of things in the Star Wars universe, and he has his own little vintage Kenner figure there. So that's always got a soft spot in my heart. But he also has Black Series. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I got the Black Series.
I have a Black Series Zuckuss signed by Catherine Monroe.
Oh.
And that Zuckuss was a Disney Store exclusive, was where it was going to be at. And she was at Pensacon in Pensacola, Florida. And the figure dropped on Friday, and she was to be there on Saturday. So on my way to Pensacola, I stopped at a Disney store and picked it up. And I was the first one she ever signed.
Oh, cool.
So she was like, what? Like she was amped on that.
Nice.
So that'll actually make for a very cool pairing.
Right.
So,
yeah,
that's cool. Sure. I forgot.
Well, the wonderful thing is Kenner screwed it up back in the day, so they called him Zuckuss the entire time.
Right.
So you could technically even have him sign a Zuckuss or a Forlom or whatever you want. But no, he's a cool dude, and he's been a lot of great characters from Star Wars, so that's exciting. And thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I've got 5 more minutes, so if you got any, I got 4 minutes. Any questions at all you ever wanted to ask a convention promoter, go.
What's your go-to conditioner?
I actually use Pantene Pro Vitamin because it is shampoo and conditioner in one, so therefore it's quicker.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Anywhere you can save time. Go ahead, I'll answer it all. What do you got?
I'm working. I have a little. I ask that in comments of other YouTubers sometimes because I'm working on a collage video of all of them. And so one day there's just gonna be this unhinged video that goes up. What conditioner do Star Wars YouTubers use?
I love it.
I'm not telling anyone when it's just gonna drop one day. So now we know.
No, I don't even know how I ended up with Pantene. I think I used to use it way back in the day, but it's all I use, man. I'm like super committed to Pantene, which is weird but I don't even know why. Like it's just. I mean, I've been married for 15 years now, so it just kind of like is always full in the shower, which is great.
I'm a Tresemme guy.
Ooh, Tresemme, watch out.
My bitch ex-girlfriend who I hate left it in my shower after we broke up. So I'm gonna use it. So
yeah, sure enough.
I mean, he could have said Garnier Fructis or something,
Yeah.
Man, I like the smell of some Garnier Fructis. I'll tell you the truth.
So
I do.
Oh man. So what's for dinner tonight?
What's for dinner tonight? It is hamburgers. We're having hamburgers.
Oh,
that sounds delicious.
I had
hamburgers. And she even puts the time in like slices like tomatoes and onions and lettuce and whatnot. Like me, if I eat a hamburger or make a hamburger, it's like ketchup bun hamburger, But her, it's like all laid out nice on the plates and whatnot. It's nice.
Do it up.
That's cool.
It was ranch bacon chicken pizza tonight.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh,
that's nice.
There's
ranch bacon chicken.
There's a gas station with a good pizzeria in it down the road, so I had to pick that up after work.
A sentence never ever uttered.
Right. So
the gas station with a good pizzeria down the road.
right, it's weird, but they have a full blown kitchen on the side, and you're like
That's
standing in
cool.
this you're standing in this really shitty BP. But it's like a full blown, like real kitchen in the back. Like they have no business being a gas station. That's
awesome, man. Those are my favorite kind of places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, thanks, guys. I appreciate the heck out of it. I do want to say I appreciate the heck out of folks like you that, keep that dream alive in between shows, in between times, in between, Disney Star Wars releases or whatever, that keep this fandom going. I know you were saying Timothy Zahn before, and as I said to them as well, you guys remind me of Timothy Zahn because between the late 80s and the early 90s, we had nothing.
Yeah.
Except Timothy's on writing books. And in between these Disney shows or in between the movies, we have nothing except you wonderful guys putting out podcasts. So I appreciate the heck out of you. And thank you so much for having me on. And thanks so much for supporting ICCCon. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Great show. And we'll remind you about that Pop Attorney's invite. And you're getting your call, so.
I got it. And the Imperial Commissary Cafeteria. I'm on it.
Yep. Wilbon, trademark it.
Trademarks. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
You as well.
Later, man. OT reveal on my cloner brain rot streak.
Hey, it's cool. It's cool. I'm thinking about,
cool.
dude. I'm going for the Sand Trooper, dude. I'm about to go for Forlom, man.
Say, guys, come on. We got to do like Wilbon on Monday Night Figure Bowl. We gotta support whoever we got. So,
whoever we got. Yeah.
I actually have the Black Series. Like, do you remember they did that box set of both of them in like the OG colors? I actually have that. Yeah, I actually have that. So it's like that's perfect to get signed.
What did they do?
It was like the Black Series, but they were like it was honestly like one of the first Kenner variant Black Series releases. So
they did it was that Amazon 2-pack that was Zuckuss Forlom. They were painted like the Kenner figures, like that Boba Fett from SDCC was.
Okay.
But then
I'm not super familiar.
They mislabeled them in the 80s. They accidentally said that Forlom was Zuckuss. And so they did Black Series cards on purpose to match the original card back. No, I'll send you a link after, or I'll send you a link now.
Are they on card back, or are they?
They actually come in a box, but they're both like on card still in the box.
Oh, interesting.
Like, It's a pretty cool set. I got it like when I was first started collecting. So yeah.
Here, I'll just show you. I just pulled it up on Amazon.
I do like getting things signed on card versus like on the bubble of like the red and black box.
Then you love it. So these are painted like Forlom's a little more matte. He just has like the red stripe, and Zuckuss is really, really bright. And they come. You see, they said Zuckuss on Forlom's card because it matches the old.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they it doesn't show it, but they come. You know how they come in a shipper where when they come in the zipper, they'll interlock the cards. They'll put them backwards.
Yeah.
So they come backwards stacked in a box sleeve, like the Sabine and Chopper vintage collections.
Right.
Same idea, but bigger.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool set. Like the box actually like looks really cool. So
yeah. Cook, I'll pull it up again. I'm completely totally blanking on the guy's name, but it's Forlom from Empire.
Dude, what a cool guy though, Michael.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'll tell you what, that did not feel like 2 hours.
No.
Of talking to him.
Yeah. And Tommy called it out earlier where like Hybrid's obviously having it. Chris Parsons. Yep. Chris Parsons. I was telling y'all for the last couple of weeks where I would just like to pick someone's brain that does this, and so I'm gonna have to rewatch my own stream just to a little more. I mean, there was a lot of information there and how they contract, like Fan Expo. So basically, if it's someone that's going to Fan Expo or GalaxyCon, we're not able to see them at ICCC. So ICCC will never be able to Hayden or Juan or Mark Hamill or
you want to hear a couple that I thought of that I haven't seen showing up really anywhere?
Yeah.
Michelle Ang, who does Omega. I haven't seen her at any conventions. No Fan Expos, no Galaxy Cons.
Yeah,
I mean, she's been doing a couple here and there, but it's not like big franchise ones, is it?
Right. Well,
and then even like D. Bradley Baker too, you know.
Yeah, D. Bradley Baker's doing Steel City Con this weekend, so he's definitely allowed to do smaller events.
Right, right.
Michelle Ang was at Emerald City Con, which is like Seattle, and that's one of probably the 5 big ones. You have your San Diego, your New York City, then you start looking at like Dallas and Seattle and stuff as being you're bigger. But no, yeah, like Wilbon saying here, he was just info dumping, and that was insane. He earned his hamburger tonight.
Yeah,
but I had a blast. That was a great time.
No, that was awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, Talking Toys with the Boys has peaked. This will be our last one, but you know,
our last one.
Get better from here. But
man,
and you know, it feels good. And like he was saying, it feels good here, and it feels good telling them that we were having a great time before.
Yeah.
That I got to show them my last year's treasures and just tell them and show them our group photos and stuff, and because that's like the big thing for me. And it's like I said openly, is we, you know, if I didn't make videos bitching about toys on YouTube, I would have never met y'all.
Right.
I mean, it's just weird how this whole thing has come full circle. But I mean, I'm just having a blast with it, and I'm glad that there's still new opportunities that come with it every day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I guess we're 2 hours in, so I'm not gonna like super drag us out, especially since there's not really anything to talk about that no one else has. But I guess just super brief, like we had San Diego Comic-Con last week, and there were some pretty good reveals there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all care to talk about those real quick.
Yeah, we can skim over real quick.
That was like the Ahsoka and the
Yeah, so there was the Vernestra from Acolyte, which I'm here for. I think that looks good.
Yeah.
I will say I'm bummed that she didn't get the light whip.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that they could have really done that in a good way. I mean, it would, but even if it just plugged into the hilt like the normal blades and it was just a whippy piece of plastic, you know.
Yeah.
Like the Indiana Jones Adventure series whips were.
Here's don't you think it's wild that she got a figure, like she's the first figure of like that species before Luminara and Barris?
That's because Hasbro knows there's a line of people like you that are ready with jars at the waiting for Luminara and Barris.
Dude, those are instant pre-orders if they come out with those. Any prequel like Clone Wars Jedi like that.
Yeah,
I need them.
I'm here for it. So, and I gotta be straight up. I'm an Acolyte lover. Basil is a pass for me. He looks well sculpted.
Yeah.
I wanted to like his character more, but like his character kind of threw me off in the show a little bit.
It made no sense at the end, and then they gave like no explanation. So
yeah.
I just don't like Soul anymore. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
This Cassian figure actually looks pretty dope.
Yes, it looks real good. Yep.
This is probably his best outside of Rogue One appearance. The red trench coat didn't really do it for me. The likeness, and they were even saying that they think it was their best job on the likeness, but I think it looks really good.
I agree, yeah.
But I think, and again, I'm not a huge Andor fan. I'll end up with that one. I like the character of the show.
Yeah.
Dedra looks pretty great. And they finally made a data pad to start giving these characters that have no accessories.
Right.
Because that's been everyone's go-to is, just give her a data pad or something instead of empty hands.
Yeah.
At least that part exists now. I mean, too bad it wasn't with tech, but there's some 375 garbage no one cares about. Actually, we're going to talk about it because the TVC heads have been bugging me lately. But I love that this is all reuse except for the new head sculpt because they finally actually have a legitimate thing to complain about.
Right.
Although using the Rebels body kind of takes away the whole Grand Fat Merle Thrawn thing. So
yeah, I mean, it's less accurate proportion to the show, but it probably looks better as a figure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good amalgamation. They were also complaining about Ahsoka the White having the same arms and legs as the original one. And that very well
doesn't she have basically the same arms and legs in the show, just white versus gray?
Right. It's basically the same outfit, just white.
Yeah. Although the Black Series did get new arms and legs, so
which I am happy about.
Maybe potentially the line that is superior in sales actually gets a little more budget for these things. But what are we?
I really like the look of this figure.
It looks amazing.
I'm not the biggest fan of the original Black Series Ahsoka from The Mandalorian, but this definitely fixes that clunky knee leg issue I have with the original one. So
yeah,
I think it looks good in the updated face, and Leku looks good. So
honestly, this is a beautiful figure.
Right.
I'm absolutely 100% this is a lock for me. This is happening.
Oh yeah.
No cloak though.
Yeah.
No cloak. Nate and Justin have kind of been on it a little bit, but I'm sure it's probably going to get the Balin and Shin treatment where there's a Best Buy exclusive with the cloak later on or something.
Yep.
But as good as this figure looks, I'll end up with 2. I don't care.
I mean, if they did a 2-pack with her and her soft goods cloak, and they did a new Sabine with the poncho or something,
right.
I'm gonna buy that.
Well, and I super chatted them on it on Lazy Sunday, but I think they missed the point of what I was saying. Is we're gonna get this Ahsoka with the cloak packed with Sabine and the poncho, and then they're gonna call it a 3-pack, but the third figure is gonna be one of those little teeny tiny turtle mans.
Oh yeah.
Like the Amazon 3-pack that was the the Mando.
Yeah.
I think they said something they're gonna throw Ezra in there with it too.
Yeah, but the thing is then it would actually be a real 3-pack, and they'll never do that.
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a 2.5-pack. Yeah.
Right. This, not gonna lie, I got feelings on this. They're all positive.
The only thing I've ever heard is somebody say the head looks a little small, but I didn't even notice it until somebody said something.
Yeah,
and then I was like,
until you said it, so thanks for ruining it for me.
And then even then I was like, it ain't even that bad. So right. I'm still buying it.
This is I'm feeling hella inspired with this one, where I want to see if I can't 3D print a little diorama hanger door, and I just need to lay on the ground around Paz Vizsla.
That's cool.
Because then what I need then is I need to find someone that can resin print me Paz's gun in an orange resin.
Right.
I can paint it overheating.
Yep.
I mean, because that's how everyone wants to go out in the end. I don't know how comfortable I am with my mom making jar comments. That's
hey, jarring. If you get the SH Figure Arts, he comes with blast effects for the blaster, right?
Yeah, but I need the melting down gun. Where it was his last stand and it was glowing. Where it was overheating.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do the full Dio, but this is awesome.
What if you had Because didn't they pipeline the Praetorian?
Yeah, I think so.
So you could have like those guys laying around, the door entrance,
walking in,
and then you could have the Praetorians walking in. You could have Paz with the shield, the little energy buckler, and the knife, dude.
Yep. This is not going to help my wallet. If Nerdzoic does the cases of 6 for a deal like everything else, I'm doing it again. I already did it for the super battle droids. There's a disgusting amount on the way.
I'm good for 1. I don't need to army build these. I just want 1.
No, you need 2. You need 1 for each side of Gideon.
Yeah.
No, it's just going to be 1, and it's going to go in the Mando diorama.
Hunter, you're doing it wrong. Grogu and IG-12 of Anzellans.
That one's got me a little tempted, not going to lie.
For me, this is a yes. I need it, even though it was like a 1 episode gimmicky thing.
Right.
I mean, this is awesome. He fits so well in there. I was always kind of afraid of how they were going to do it. And I love that they just openly finally said, oh, the old IG-12 was way too small. Because I was like, they're going to reuse those arms and give him a giant torso. And, and now that there's the correct scale limbs, and also there was a leak. There was a leak for an IG-12, and we all kind of figured it was this, but it didn't have the hollow torso.
Right.
Remember, like when we saw the photos of like Savage and stuff.
Yeah.
So no one's talking about it. I think we're getting like a Marshall IG-11.
Oh, I think we will.
Like I think it's coming sooner than we're speculating. It's TVC garbage, but just to point it out,
I'm buying that.
Oh yeah.
I'm buying that. That's going right in the crest, dude. That's going right in the like cargo area of the crest. I need it.
So something that I really, really liked about this SDCC stream is it seemed like they were actually talking live for once.
Right.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't the pre-recorded nonsense they love doing. And was it Eric? It might have been Eric. No, he wasn't in the stream. It was the guy with the glasses. He excitedly said that this has been on the back burner forever and that they made the Razor Crest big enough to fit it. Meaning that Hasbro actually cooks stuff for sometimes 4 or 5 years because that Razor Crest came out in what, 29? It HasLab ran it in 2019 and it, hit in 2020.
Right.
Like, so this is like 4 years out and they're finally saying, hey, it pairs. But, I love hearing that they don't just, like they actually think about stuff. Like,
well, and they put stuff to the side, being like, oh, that's just not like what we can fit in right now. But we could always see it down the line, which is great.
So this might be the best pipeline list that they've ever done.
Yep.
I don't know what Prince Scissors is, but the other 7 are really good.
Scissor.
But Kelmaka, cool.
Yeah.
I'll end up getting them. I mean, like they amped the hell out of him for the promotion stuff, and then he was just not in the show.
Yeah.
But we getting an artisan Kelnaka.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. We're gonna get a furry one and not a rubber like plasticky.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it.
Well, you don't want the furry?
No.
Gideon and the Praetorian. I mean, I think we just knew.
Yeah.
Like those were a given.
That Praetorian's gonna be hard to pass up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need the 3 of them.
Right.
And
do you think they'll come with different weapons?
I was getting ready to talk about that. What do we
3
think?
weapons.
Because the thing with the Last Jedi one is that they all had different helmets, so it made sense to sell them. Or the helmets, each design got used twice or whatever, so some of them would come with 2 weapons.
Right.
But like these were the same. All 3 of them were the same armor, and weren't there 3 different weapons?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what they were. Was there a whip?
There was like a whip.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, you kind of just got to give us all of them, right?
Yeah. I think that's what they'll do, honestly.
But and then
it'll be deluxe.
Yeah, more than 2 accessories, so they got to hit us for the $35. But Anakin, I've been waiting.
Dude, I might get it. It's gonna depend on how it looks. If they're gonna use the likeness from the show, it might be a pass for me. But if they try to do like a more Clone Wars looking one, then I would do it.
Well, and where I'm at is like, I'm okay if they take the de-aging on Hayden and they do it a little better than the show did.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But
yep.
I'm afraid that it's just going to be the Clone Wars Anakin we already have with a different head.
See, I feel like it may reuse some of those parts, mainly the torso and arms.
Yeah.
I think it's got to have new legs, and they'll reuse those legs for the, new Anakin from Revenge of the Sith that we get, and it'll have a new head, because I feel like pipelines have never been like just straight repacks almost,
Right.
Yep.
I think we're kind of on, Coffee says he thinks it's a retool with new legs and a new head. I could see them reusing the chest and arms because those are newer. They had the butterfly joints and stuff, and there's not a real reason not to. What do we think we're going to get on Rex? Now, they did say they're using an animated photo, but that was just because they don't really have a great photo of Phase 1 in the show because he was really in the background. But they're saying it'll be live action in the Ahsoka.
Yeah. I think it'll just be, our new 2023 Phase 1 with some extra added parts and stuff like that.
So in Hunter's book, pass.
I mean, I don't collect Rex and Black Series anyway.
Yeah, it's not on that 2013 body for you.
It's the wrong color.
Right. And then we got Bakara, which that one I'm incredibly excited for. And
I cannot wait.
I'm guessing that there's a precedent being set here because we just got Kiadi, and so now we're getting his commander, and every other commander we have the Jedi that have come for. And so I'm guessing going forward, if we get a commander or a Jedi, the other will surely follow.
Right.
If they come in there, hey, we're getting...
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
If they drop a Luminara on us, we might be seeing we already have a Phase 2 Grease, so maybe nothing there, but, or we might see a Phase 1 coming or something.
Yeah, Grease kind of funny, because I think if you look up on, Wiki, 41st Elite was technically, Yoda and Luminara. We're in the 41st.
Yoda didn't do that many field missions. He was kind of...
Right.
So it was kind of just, I think he would just tag along with them if he was going to go.
Right.
Yep.
But the Commando.
That one's heat. That's the best one on the list.
I know I've told at least Hunter, maybe not Hendrix, but I'm not like a huge visceral reaction guy, if I'm watching a movie and something shocking happens, I might be like, what? But, it's not
right. Yeah.
I remember this live stream's going on. It started when I was driving home from work. And so I'm watching this live stream. I get home. I go to the bathroom. I got to go. I'm sitting there on the toilet. And then it's Commando droid. And I'm like, what? I'm like, it just completely got me to freak out. I was just arms were flailing. I was just I just could not comprehend that we actually got the Commando droid, because all the other battle droids we've been getting have been in live action, and they've appeared in Clone Wars, but this is they're finally doing only from animation to the fold.
Right.
And I love it.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna.
I don't know if I'm gonna buy 10, but I'm gonna definitely buy probably 6. Because I got 6 super battle droids, so like having 6 and 6 would look cool.
Yeah.
Right. And then I don't care about Prince Scissors. I don't know.
I honestly I mean, it's cool that they have because they have an EU thing going on where they had that 4-pack come out, and then I mean I don't know if it's all connected to the same source because I'm the worst person to ask anything EU based. Right. I don't know any of that stuff, but I do think it's cool because I have seen people get really excited about it, and if people are getting excited about it, then just because I don't know who it is, doesn't mean it's bad.
Look at Hunter coming in with a politically correct answer. No, I mean,
I think it's weird. I don't know what it's from. I don't know what species he is. He looks weird, man. He looks like he's wearing some Egyptian robes or something. I don't know what he is, man. But
and it's if we can get our 2 clones, the Anakin, the all the characters we want, and they get their one, let them have their one character,
Right.
And then we got to talk about the speeder.
Which one?
Oh, I guess there is something to talk about with the STAP also. We'll come back on that.
Dude, I just got notified that my tour is showing up tomorrow.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we got Tommy bought several because there was fear that there might be a limited number. But we just need to talk about how revolutionary this is for the line. Because we haven't had a vehicle since 2020. And they had something like 3,000 units, and then 500 of those sold at the convention, and the rest got put up on Pulse a week later. And once the rest got put on Pulse, the premium, they had an hour where only premium members, could go. And then when it went up for the public after that hour, it lasted 20 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 30. So they sold 2,500 of these in an hour and a half. And it probably wouldn't have been that long if they didn't have the premium only hour.
Yeah, right. You got a lot less people with access to it for that hour.
Right. And I'm just sitting here this is a good sign. It's like them putting up a Black Series HasLab, and if it needed 8,000 backers, they got 3,000 on hour 1,
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't give them confidence in the collectors going forward, I mean, what could, right?
Yep. And I bought 2 myself, one to keep. I'm not going to open them. I bought one just for the sole purpose of getting Ray Park to sign it one day, because I think it'd be awesome. And the other one I'm just going to keep for another collector down the line if they, they're getting into the Black Series and they missed out on it because it was a SDCC exclusive. I'm going to sell it to them for $60 because that's what I paid.
I ended up with 2 because I was sure I was going to miss out on it. And so when Tommy was like, hey, I'm going to order a bunch, I was like, okay, get me one. And then when I saw how easy it was to get at the time, I was like, I'm just going to lock in one too. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to have one to rock, one to stock. And I don't know that I'll get it signed. I think it would look cool signed, but there's going to be one open on the shelf, and the other, I'm not a big investor or anything, but I'm just going to stick it in the closet, forget about it, and come back to it in 10 years. And then if I decide to sell it, I'll be the cheapest one on eBay.
Right.
But, I try to be pretty reasonable on that stuff, but I'm not trying to put my kids through college either. So, but no, these are insane. And then we had, because it got brought up, I can't believe I completely glazed over it, but I'm gonna pull up the photos and we're gonna glaze on it now.
Yeah, dude's the biggest glazer here for it.
Right. Where is it? Did Yak seriously not post about it?
I don't know.
How did Yak
honestly
not post about this?
Would it be on Hasbro Pulse Instagram?
Maybe.
All I know is it's coming up for PulseCon.
Yeah.
I mistakenly thought it was going up for pre-order.
God, I'm gonna have to do something disgusting and pull up Yoda's news.
Hmm.
God, I hate these people.
You're not blocked?
Yeah, somehow they didn't block me for all my shit talking over them bullying Ryan Johnson. All right, here.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, I'm hyped for this.
This is probably like reveal of the year. Like,
yep.
So I have been picking up for a while. I'll stop sharing for a minute. The 375 steps because they've never made a 375 step that was in scale. They made the Phantom Menace ones that were way too big, and then they repainted them for Clone Wars. This is a 1999 mold, even though it came out in 08.
Right.
They're a little small for Black Series, not extremely small. I mean, they work better with Black Series than 375.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is right, you know.
Yep.
And I mean, this one's gotten me completely on. I think that's the one that made the thumbnail. But
could you imagine if they gave us HasLab AAT and having like one of each, like one of those on each side of it?
That would be
that'd be awesome.
That would be pretty great. So where I'm at is I'm going to buy 2 of these like brown ones because I kind of don't super care about like the brown Battle Droid stuff, like the brown MTTs and the AATs.
Yep.
The Phantom Menace looks like they're okay. But
I'm in for 2 myself.
When they do the blue Clone Wars repaint, when it's Hasbro when they do the blue one, 6.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like
that's crazy, dude.
It's beautiful. It's one of my most favorite vehicles, like in all of Star Wars. I don't know that's one, but it's like in the top 5.
Right.
I totally get it. It's the speeder bike equivalent of a Segway. I don't care. Like,
well, I feel like it's the perfect time for them to come out with the Stap, and then next to come out with a Bark speeder.
Yep.
So they've been doing like the 2-pack with like the clone and the battle droid. So like you always kind of want to have that opposition, right? Or like an equal thing for like each faction. So like if you got the Stap, the next thing somebody's gonna want is the Bark speeder, you know?
Right. So the Stap is a PulseCon exclusive, and they also did reveal that PulseCon is happening Friday, September 13th. So it's a little over a month out. So I'm
Friday the 13th, huh?
Yeah. So I'm guessing that Friday the 13th is when we're going to see that Stap come up for order. Don't mind me. My cat was eating plastic because she's not meant for this mortal world. But Obi-Shan is in for 4, 2 Phantom Menace and 2 to repaint into the Clone Wars.
Oh, wow.
You're not chancing Hasbro on not doing it. It's Hasbro. If there's one thing they love, it's repainting the same thing over and over. Now, even though we're going to want the Clone Wars one, we're going to have to deal with the Halloween one and the Christmas one and the St. Patrick's Day one. And then we'll finally get the canon Clone Wars one. But it'll happen.
Well, you also got to think, too, like, they're going to have to do new packaging for that unless they, like, reuse the Droideka box that they designed.
Which they could. I mean, it doesn't have to be on it in the box. It could just be in the box with
like
it.
behind it or something, you know.
Trust you. But no, I mean, this is like, hi. Okay. She's like on the back of my chair. Okay. But
she's fun to watch in the background.
Yeah, she's always doing something, and it's never good. But yeah, I mean, I think honestly, the SDCC offerings, all bangers. There was nothing, you know, it wasn't their normal, you know, here's 5 holiday figures, and then that's the stream, and then Yahoo News reveals Gaming Grade Small an hour after, like last year.
Yep.
Like,
I am so glad that they're trying to test the vehicle line coming back with prequel vehicles, because I'm not gonna lie, when I got into collecting, the vehicles had like already basically come and gone.
Right.
You know, like I got into it like 2019, 2020, and just to hear that, oh, the vehicles did so poorly, so Black Series just doesn't do vehicles anymore. And I was like, well, what vehicles did they do? And then I found out that they did 0 prequel vehicles, and I just wondered why. Why didn't we get an ATRT, or now we finally got the Stap or a Bark Speed or something, you know?
The prequels had some of the better small vehicle designs. I'll say for your larger spaceships, your X-Wing is always going to be iconic. And, you know, an X-Wing HasLab will outperform a Jedi Starfighter and stuff just by nature of it being that classic original trilogy vehicle.
Right.
But as far as the smaller vehicles, though, like outside of Luke's land speeder, what does the OT have that's noteworthy? You know, the real little speeder bikes that they have kind of sprinkled.
Yeah.
But like nothing insane. And so, you know, the prequels give you, you know, the Maul speeder, the Stap, the ATRT, the Bark speeder. I mean, there's, you know, a couple others. If we mull it over, they could give us an Attack of the Clones Anakin with the finding his beaten mother speeder bike, you know, like.
Well, they could even do, like, now that they're doing speeders, they could do like an Anakin in Attack of the Clones on a swoop bike on Geonosis, like going to hunt down the Tusken Raiders, you know, find Shmi, you know, find his mother.
So, and we'll say it. Why not? Let's say it. So, and I don't have the names to name, but it's gotten around. I know that like Zach with Black Series Cantina and Nate and Justin, and I think Luke Ness have all kind of know people that work at Hasbro, or they have people that DM them. And so basically word on the street is if the Maul Speeder and the Stap do well, they have prototypes for the Barks ready to drop for the 20th of Revenge of the Sith next year.
I mean, I hope so.
Like,
awesome. I think it's coming, because I think it's coming from Hot Toys, and we've seen a lot of correlation between Hot Toys and Black Series. Yep. So yeah,
Copy's got like the best one right here.
That'd be cool.
That would be epic.
Night night, mommy.
I mean, what would you take it even if it was total reuse from the Dooku that we have?
That Dooku is a great figure.
It is.
I think so. I think so too. I think it's good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Dooku. That's a solid figure. I think I think Tommy is giving us hints, and I think we are getting close to time anyway. But someone's getting lonely.
Bro should have just hopped on.
Right. Oh, shit.
If you wanted to chat.
I guess sending him the link probably would have helped too.
Yeah, dude should have just hopped on if he wanted to chat.
Well, if I'd have sent it to him, then Jacob would have opened the email and invited himself in again. So I have to be careful. So then we get to hear all about chicken nuggets for an hour. But anyone have any recent pickups? We can kind of limp.
No, I don't got nothing on me right now.
Nothing on yet. Hunter, I know you've got a couple big ones, so maybe I'll knock mine out real quick.
All right.
So, nothing insane. Pretty much everything you've seen reviewed at this point. I got 2 super battle droids on Saturday from Buy Sell Trade Ashtabula, one of my most favorite stores. I always shout them out, but for real, if it would take you less than 72 years to drive there, I recommend you drive there. The Night Owl Mando and the Mando Privateer, these are some really awesome, not army building, but like army adding. You don't want to buy multiples of the same. They all have unique deco. But they were just really cool additions to the Rando Mando squad. With the Night Owl, I didn't want to pay for shipping, so they got me on the Holocom Ahsoka, which was on sale for like $15. And I think it's okay for what it is. It's just gonna hang out on my desk. I like the Holocom line. I think they're pretty neat. I found at Ollie's the other day they had a case of the Death Watch Mandos, so I ended up just grabbing the one. And then I picked up for Hunter the Jabeam Obi-Wan they had. My local Ollie's was stocked. Ollie's is actually starting to put out the great big tables that they do like around Christmas, where they're going to load up with toys. And so I'm pretty amped on that. And then I just got in the mail today the Gaming Greats Django Fett. And I got yesterday the silver paint pen that I'm going to have Tamura Morrison sign it with at Fan Expo Chicago next week. And I guess in the same vein, I'll show some other stuff. I got in the other day Cal Kestis and BB-1 Funko Pop, and I've had for a minute this Solo Chewbacca Funko. Those are also getting signed at Chicago, and those are going to pair with my Night Trooper Armor Ezra autograph that I got at Fan Expo Cleveland back in the spring. And speaking of Ollie's, they're going to be prizes in my Toys for Tots raffle, which I'm doing again this year. So there'll be more info. We'll start at end of October. That way we can kind of run it through November. But for those that aren't familiar with that, we're going to have a couple of prizes. Those autographs will be like the 3 big main prizes. We're going to raffle them off on a live stream. And all the money that gets raised will be spent on a huge Toys for Tots shopping spree, where we're just going to go to Ollie's and buy a ton of cool toys. And we're going to try and fill a couple of carts, and we're going to dump them in a Toys for Tots bin. So keep an eye out for that later this year. It's never too early to start marketing that. All right, Hunter, you have speaking privilege.
All right. I'll try to go quick, but I got quite a few here. Well, as you guys know, I'm a Hot Wheels Starships collector, like basically completionist.
Hunter, get to the point.
I picked up this single pack N1 here. They have the Mando N1. But this one I picked up, it's like of the newest wave, but this is the only one I have from the newest wave.
Nice.
It's a cool looking ship. It's different too. It's like smoother, different sculpt. But I don't think I showed this off, but I got to show this off, especially because it's on your stream hybrid. But I got the Mayfex Bo-Katan.
Nice.
And solely for the purpose of putting her right here.
Heck yeah.
Which is kind of a waste of the articulation, but I don't care.
We got Obi-Shan saying if you added lightning hands to Dooku, he'd happily buy it again.
Like that'd be sick. Yeah.
Like, yeah, add some accessories there. Or
okay.
With the Death Star hologram in it.
Yeah. That would be dope.
Yeah.
Also, I deliberately sabotaged Hybrid by telling him I wasn't going to the Sioux Falls Comic-Con until a week before. And I got to meet Elizabeth Grolin, and your boy got this signed.
Heck yeah.
Super cool. She's got a cool looking signature, and she's also like super nice in person. I've never met anybody who wasn't from Star Wars that isn't just super nice in person.
They're all so nice. I don't have any bad stories.
Yeah, for sure. And I got this too. 1 of 3. I'm going to get Cameron Monaghan next week. And then I looked it up, and Steve Bloom does the Purge Trooper. So I'm going to eventually get him too. So I'll have all 3 of them on here. And that'll be cool. This was actually like I didn't get there early enough for this to be the first one that she saw. It was the second one.
It was like the week it dropped.
Yeah, it was the week it dropped, and then I also got there like, I don't know, 3 hours after open. So, but yeah, I'm hoping for this to be the first one Cameron sees, but I don't know. I don't know if he's been to a convention recently or not, but
I haven't seen him pop up anywhere. I mean, not that I monitor him crazy closely, but I follow him and he posts when he's going to be places. But yeah, it would have been nice to meet Elizabeth Merlin. Would have been cool.
Hey, the payback was I didn't get to meet Matthew Wood. I went the whole way, had like 3 things ready for him to sign, and then he's like, "Oh, they didn't even tell me in advance. They were just like, I showed up there and they were like, "Oh yeah, his flight got canceled, so he's not here." I'm like, "Oh, sweet." It's a good thing I planned on meeting somebody else. Otherwise, it would have been a waste of a 6-hour road trip.
Right.
So, but then I got this bad boy.
Hey.
That's pretty good.
To add to the collection. Also, speaking of Obi-Wans, your boy won a raffle.
Heck yeah.
And I got this Obi-Wan that I was like, depressed ain't the word, but I was very sad when I missed out on this one because it's such a cool looking figure.
Yep.
And
the way you were after that.
What's that?
Depressed is absolutely the word. The way you were acting after you missed out on that. You were acting like a well-loved family dog after it got left at the pound, dude. It was sad.
I got one more that no one knows about this except for Tommy. I told Tommy it's a hot toy. I said I wasn't buying it, but here it is.
Tommy said you bought that.
Yep.
No, Tommy told us about that. You get the Chrome Cody.
Yep.
What a hater. You weren't gonna pass on a Cody.
Right.
Oh, one cool thing I was going to share too. When I won that raffle, it was from a guy called Hawk Horrors Toys, and he always sends a comic book along with him, like if you win a raffle. So I got this one.
He sends them. He sends them even if you buy something off him. I actually bought my Oppo Bark Speeder off him.
Yeah, I think I bought my. I think I bought the heavy Bark Speeder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got this, and I have another one that has Afra on it. But this one, I was like, it matches my my SDCC one. So I'm like, that's super cool. I'm gonna figure out some way to like. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna display them together because it's like a matching thing. But no, I thought that was super cool. And then I think that's it for pickups. Oh shoot. I was gonna show off what I was gonna get autographed then next week. Yeah. Other than that Cal Kestis one, I have another Cal Kestis one. If I can find it. I got this. Can't hardly see it. It's from Jedi Survivor.
Got a TVC shill here.
Yeah, I thought it would look cool. You know, like I got a real nice blue chrome paint pen. I think it'll look cool. And it's like a newer, figure that, maybe I'm not the biggest fan of the Black series, and I like getting things signed on card back. So I thought it'd be kind of cool,
Right.
And I'm meeting Gina Carano. So I'm getting this signed. So I'm excited to get that signed. Also, Tamir Morrison's going to be there. Am I getting a Boba or a Django signed? Am I getting a Boba signed? No. I'm getting Commander Cody signed. So this is the one that I'm guaranteed getting signed. It's the exclusive foil card back. Commander Cody. And one thing that I thought was cool too, when I was just looking at what I thought I wanted to get signed, it says free Boba Fett on the card back. So I think Tamir Morrison will find that kind of funny that it says free Boba Fett on the card back when he also plays Boba Fett.
Right.
And it's still up in the air. I'm going to double up on him for sure, but I'm not sure what I want to get signed.
Boba.
These are some options. I got this one here that has him on the card back. It looks a little nicer. Or I got, I'm not a Funko Pop guy, but this is like probably one of the more, I don't know, expensive Funko Pops. Not that I want to get it signed for the value because I ain't selling it, but no,
it'd be like a middle finger piece, it'd be like, look at this really, really rare thing that I also got scribbled on. Like,
I mean, it would be cool just to have it be a little bit cooler,
Right.
But
not getting any Boba Fett or Jango Fetts.
If Black Series had a better one, I would. And if I had enough money to get the TVC, like the original TVC carded one that's like $200, I would. But like, I don't know. Commander Cody's my guy. So like, if it's going to go in my collection, I want it to be like unique for me, Fair. So, yeah.
I don't like the Black Series Jango, but I'm okay with it as an autograph. Because
that's fair too.
In the box,
right.
So, even though it's like dog water figure.
Well, that's like if you ever had the chance to meet Jon Favreau, it would still be cool to get a pre-Vizsla signed.
Right.
I mean, I would. I'd get the pre-Vizsla and then a Paz Vizsla too. I'd get both.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
So Hendrix, you're out. There's no pickups at all.
I mean, I just don't have them with me, but I did get the Hot Toys Deadpool from Deadpool and Wolverine, and then Scorch as well, and the Mafex Ahsoka and the SH Figure Arts Ahsoka.
Okay, so
cool.
Reviews coming. Reviews already out.
Oh yeah, reviews coming. Mafex Ahsoka is out, so
nice.
Yeah, that figure is amazing. I'm very curious to see how the SH Figure Arts like compares to it. So
sure. You got any videos coming out you want to plug before we dip?
More Hot Toys reviews and just reviews in general, really. So go check out my Deadpool and Wolverine movie review. It bombed, but I'm proud of it. So
hey, it's all right. I'm holding off until I see it. That's probably going to be a this weekend thing.
Right. It's such a good movie, dude. It is so fun.
I've already basically seen the entire thing on TikTok at this point.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
But I got to go see it yet, and it might be a Saturday night or a Sunday morning thing for me.
Yeah.
The only thing I ever see is the scene with Channing Tatum as Gambit.
It's so funny, dude.
That's the only clip I ever see, dude.
I probably haven't laughed so like that hard in my life in a long time. Like it's been a while since I laughed that hard.
Right. Hunter, you don't make content, so you're not allowed to talk right now. But for me,
have a good night, guys.
Me, there's always reviews coming. I'm actually working on a video. I picked up a really cool, it's like a retro tech thing. I picked up a VHS collector set for the Phantom Menace where it comes in a big box with like an art book and film slides.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of cool. So I was going to do a video on that. And then that pretty well has me set for reviews for the moment. I might review the Jango that I picked up because it is a open box Jango that I got. So I may as well review it. And then there's going to be a Fan Expo Chicago vlog. So that'll be a good time for anyone that can't make it to Fan Expo Chicago. If you would like to live vicariously through me, then come and check out the vlog. Hunter will be in it. And maybe Hendrix. We might get together at some point that weekend. Yep. And that'll be out. I'll try to have it out the Monday after the con. So like I don't know what, the 17th or whatever. So keep an eye out for it then. And that's kind of it for me. So unless anyone's got an amazing topic, why don't we pull the plug here?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
We've been going for 3 hours, so
just under 3 hours, yeah.
So wasn't the plan, but Michael was just a great guest.
It was so cool. Yeah,
I'm
too cool.
amped on that. But it seems we're being begged to join the Xbox, so I think that's what we're going to do. So thank you everyone for watching. It means a lot that you did. Thank you to Michael for joining us tonight and sharing all of the behind the scenes of running a Comic-Con. Thank you to SkywalkerHendrix for appearing. Hunter, you're welcome for letting you out of the dungeons for the evening. And until next time, I hope each and everyone has a great time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill, and we'll see you then. So have a good one. Bye.
See ya.
Hey.